risks with their superannuation as trust in funds falls. Carolee Katsambanis has more.
Australia's largest super funds are pushing members to take risky bets with growing unease of how they've prepared older workers for retirement. That's what the advisory firm Core Data has found, and expectations for the amount of money needed to retire comfortably now was nearly $1 million. The Fin Review says people planning to take their super out in a lump sum had jumped from 44% to 58% since 2022, wanting to reinvest their savings outside a super fund due to a lack of trust in the system, even into high-risk assets like cryptocurrency.
Emergency crews in Texas have been forced to suspend the search for victims as they brace for more flash flooding. Slow-moving storms are increasing the risk vulnerable waterways will surge again. More than 170 people are still missing after the devastating floods hit central Texas on July 4. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Agostino Mitsubishi's is overstocked with demos that must be cleared. Upgrade your vehicle today. Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
And it's good morning to Corey Norris.
Good morning, Mel. Port Adelaide captain Connor Rosie will have scans this morning to determine the extent of a hand injury he suffered in yesterday's 26-point win over West Coast. Coach Ken Hinkley fears there might be a fracture.
I think a dislocated finger, and then it was like, well, we're not quite sure how this is looking. We'll take some necessary action here and take him out of the game based on he's too important to us for not just today but for the long term. And
World number one Yannick Sinner has won the Wimbledon final. Craig Gabriel reports from the All England club.
Yannick Sinner has redemption. He's the first Italian to win Wimbledon. He's defeated Carlos Alcaraz 4-6, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 in 3 hours 4 minutes. 35 days after losing one of the great finals, Sinner has turned things around. You wondered if the French Open was going to be a repeat. Sinner was up a break in the first, but Alcaraz rallied to win that set. This time Sinner kept coming back and victory was his.
Australia has the West Indies at 3 for 73 on day 2 of the third test in Jamaica. Josh Hazlewood and Pat Cummins claiming wickets this morning. Australian golfer Grace Kim has won her first major title, taking out the Evian Championship in France after a playoff. Fellow Aussie Minjee Lee finished equal third. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Stay cosy. Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au now and register your interest today.
Showers today with a top of 14. A shower or two tomorrow, 15. Wednesday, a shower or two, 15. And 16 on Thursday. Right now, it's 8 degrees on FIVEAA, always Adelaide.
Ladies, is the need to wheel the time making your life a misery? Caruso's Wee Less to the rescue. Caruso's Wee Less contains Schisandra chinensis, a fruit extract traditionally used in Chinese medicine to relieve urinary frequency. So if your need to wheel the time is getting in the way of your social life, try Caruso's Wee Less today. Caruso's Wee Less is made in Australia, comes with a money-back guarantee and is available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. They'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash. And your breakfast or lunch is on them. Your car gets the love too with their state-of-the-art service centre, brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, they'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. The Excelsior Hotel's $22 schnitzel and pint offer in the front bar every day. The Excelsior Hotel, Coghlan Street, Brompton. Feels like coming home, but better.
Unlock your next getaway with a chance to win one of 2 Crusader caravans, plus 50k in vouchers to be won nationally. Buy the advertiser, find today's code word and enter at winwithnews.com.au. T's and C's apply. T25/904.
1 minute you've got a life in front of you and you're happy and you've got your family, and the next minute you've got nothing. And I thought to myself, this is the end of my life. I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow. But Hutt Street Centre straight away made me feel like I'm safe. I'm comfortable. There is another day tomorrow, and it's going to be a bright day. That's what Hutt Street is to me.
Step up to end homelessness by supporting Hutt Street Centre's Walk a Mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So when an alliance is formed between South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White Business Sales SA, all that experience flows to you. This ensures you're in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. Touch base with the experts. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Proudly partnered with South Australian Business Chamber.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Yeah, good morning and welcome to 5AA Breakfast. It is great to be with you on this Monday, the 14th of July. It is 9 minutes past 6 o'clock and we're here for a second week. David and Will, they'll be returning next week. It's a bit wild and cool out there at the moment. We've had a fair bit of rain again over the weekend as I welcome Jade Robran in for this Monday morning. Hello, Jade.
Good morning, Tommy. And we say holiday road because it's the second week of the school holidays, third for some, first for some, and they'll be hitting the road. I hit the road on Friday.
You did? You're off to KI.
I did. Made the ferry. I think we arrived at 11:57 and it departed at midday, so we just made it.
Skin of your teeth.
I got so crook on the ferry. Oh, man.
The way there or the way back?
The way there. Well, interestingly, I said to you and Jono, our producer, that I still feel a bit queasy in my guts. And I had to go to bed quite early last night. I was like, I just don't feel right. Anyway, we were at a function yesterday and I got a blocked ear. And Jono just said, he goes, all the crystals are out in your ear. He goes, I sometimes get it when I'm fishing. Like your equilibrium's all a bit out of whack. So I went to the chemist and got those ear candles, those things that so my ears are okay now, but my guts are still a bit crook. And I don't know if I could still feel sick from the ferry, but I didn't know that I got seasick, and I obviously do. But some poor bird that was next to me. So on the way back, they told me, go upstairs, stand in the middle and just don't move. Mm-hmm. And I took the 3 ginger tablets that they sell. So I was actually okay. I didn't feel crook on the boat. But this poor bird next to me filled up 5 bags.
Oh,
she
my goodness.
Was so sick.
Oh, that is no good. It's the worst feeling when you get seasick. I did the fishing charter when we went to go and watch the Sharks at Port Lincoln.
Yeah.
And just on the way back, the final hour, it started to hit me, and it's a terrible feeling.
You just can't escape. There's
You've got nowhere to go.
You're strapped in for the rest of the ride. But it got us thinking about disaster holidays that have just gone a teeny tiny little bit wrong. That's our phone topic for this morning, 8223 0000. We've got some Wallace Cinema passes to hand out to you guys. Perfect timing because there is so many great family movies out at the moment to take the kiddies to for the school holidays. Holidays that have gone wrong.
I like it. 8223 0000 is the number. Jade, other than that, your time actually on KI, how was it? Did you enjoy it?
It's beautiful. It is. It's a very, very precious place. And kangaroos galore. The wildlife's absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous little koalas just sitting on the side of the road. I feel like the algal bloom has hit, though. We couldn't see anything. We couldn't smell anything too funky. But as soon as we arrived, we went fishing and boys were out for several hours and there was just nothing. And a couple of the locals said, there hasn't been anything for quite some time. But, wow, it's picturesque. I mean, I know we're quite drought-stricken here on the mainland, but over there everything was lush and beautiful. And we're on a place called Island Beach, that area of KI, which it felt like Long Beach in Robe, really long, beautiful, ocean clear. Oh, it was just gorgeous. I can understand the attraction and I would love to spend more than 24 hours there.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you were there for a sort of fly-in, fly-out visit, so to speak. It was pretty quick for you, but at least you've been now.
Tick that box.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we spoke about it last Monday, places you haven't been. Right, we're going to fix that. And we'll get onto it.
Yeah, you've done really well. And now
Flinders Ranges
is next. But look, plenty of time. So you've done one during our 2-week stint, which is a great effort.
Not too bad.
Other than that, Jade, a good weekend for our footy teams. Both the Crows and Port had wins. I mean, the Crows in particular. Port was pretty drab and dreary early on, but at least they got the result. And we'll talk about that in sport a little bit later. But I guess one of the big news items, unfortunately, is the racism story that has come out over the past 24 hours. And I know you know Nazai Wanganeen-Miller fairly well. That's just awful to see that bobbing its ugly head up again.
Disgraceful behaviour. So would have been maybe about 8 o'clock last night. Naz sent the message that he received to Ben, and Ben showed me. I couldn't believe what I was reading. The abuse, the racism, the pure hatred behind a keyboard. I can't believe we've got people like that walking around us and all over betting because Naz needed to get one more touch, that this person feels that it's okay to get onto one of these so-called fake accounts, because I did try to find the account, and of course it's not linked to any profile. No one's name is behind it.
So it's a burner.
It's a burner account. People hide behind it. You know, you go to work, Naz goes to work, plays a ripper game as he does, comes off, you know, your team's down, they've just lost, you're not probably feeling that great. You turn on your social media and boom, you're hit with something so disgusting and hateful
just
like
vile.
that. It is vile. There is no place for racism. There is no place for abuse. And I'm so proud of him for calling it out and posting it, putting it in the public arena, because we've got to come down hard on people like this, rub them out of the game. They're not welcome in our stands. I know it's in the hands of the AFL Integrity Unit, and yeah, they're clever people sitting in that office, and hopefully that they can find whoever it is and ban them for life. They don't deserve to be a part of our great game. They don't deserve to be a part of society.
And well done to Jace Burgoyne and for Nazai Wanganeen-Miller for calling it out and saying, you know what?
Yeah, they did. They both copped it, didn't they?
We're not going to cop this, and they've come down hopefully hard on it and called it out early. So exactly right. Now they need to investigate it.
You're going to see it though, can't you? You know, this bloke's probably or a woman has spent their last cent, you know, of the week. Got no money left, probably can't put food on the table. Rather than getting angry at yourself, they take it out on somebody else, and it's just it's not okay.
Exactly.
It's just, as a society, we've got to call that out.
Yeah, it seems
You're
like
not
someone's lost a multi and they've missed out by one possession or whatever the case may be.
Pathetic.
But yeah, it is. It's pathetic. Big show coming up today, Jade, on the program. We are pretty much chock full the whole way through until 9 o'clock this morning, which is great.
Yep.
We're going to be talking a little bit of football later on. We'll also be talking Wimbledon very shortly. A couple of big matches over the weekend, the two finals. So
I always like seeing who's sitting in the stands or the celebs.
I saw Leonardo DiCaprio was there over the weekend, which was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about that.
Huge Aussie contingent sitting in the stands. There was Nicole Kidman, the Hewitts were sitting there, Chris Hemsworth, Isla Fisher, and of course the Royals. They had a day out as well. I do love gawking at the people watching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's that called? Ethnography, I think, or something.
Oh.
That's more the study of human behaviour, I think. But yeah, just people watching it's fascinating.
It is fascinating. Also, an incredible story over the weekend. The German backpacker found after 12 days alone in the WA outback. I think most of it that were tracking that story were just thinking, oh, this isn't got a happy ending after 12 days. But an amazing survival story there. Also, the opposition's called on a royal commission into the algal bloom.
Yes. Speaking of the algal bloom, which you said has hit KI really hard.
And e-scooters, they've been given the tick of approval to now be on public roads. Are they a real danger to public safety? What are the consequences of them? What are the rules? What are the regs? Who's allowed to ride on the roads? I love the fact that they're so convenient, and you can, and they're good for the environment. I live fairly close to the city, so in the summer, the thought of being able to just zip in and zip out, I do love. But like a motorbike, I'm a bit scarred after Ben's accident. You're just very vulnerable, that's all. And I find them more of a toy than I do a vehicle.
Yeah, no, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the PM who's been moving through China, so very important trip there for him. We'll also talk about the Adelaide Oval turf and how that pulled up after what was a massive weekend with the rugby on Saturday night. I was there for that.
Yeah,
and then
did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. Very one-sided contest, but it looked great. And then I was back there calling the football last night, so it was a busy weekend.
The turf was all right?
It was great. Yeah, you wouldn't have even known. Like, it's amazing. We're so lucky here in SA. So we'll talk about that. Changes to lifeblood donations too. So much to talk about. We are up and going here on 5AA Breakfast. Time for a break. We'll come back with all the headlines and crossover to talk Wimbledon next.
Last month, we serviced around 11,000 vehicles, more than 1,500 Fords, 1,200 Holdens, 1,000 Subarus, 800 Isuzus, MGs, BMWs, Mercs, Audis. That's right, over 11,000 people trusted us with their pride and joy. Automasters, isn't it time for you to switch and save? Call 1300 Automasters or book online. All centres offer repair now, pay later options. So switch and save with Automasters. Great service, guaranteed.
Experience the very best of over 50s living at Northern Community Residential Village in Penfield. Set in a serene and peaceful setting, Northern Community Residential Village offers a low-maintenance lifestyle amongst a welcoming community of like-minded people. A new release of stunning homes is now selling from just $435,000. Book a tour of the display home today and picture how bright your future could be. Visit ncrv.com.au for more information.
When your youngest finishes school and pick up and drop off become a distant memory. When the neighbours no longer have loud music to complain about. When you wake up and fall asleep to the sound of silence because the kids have flown the nest. If only it happened sooner. Semi-retirement, disposable income and infinite time to spend it. You're a super consumer. If you run a business that'd like to reach the consumer we call the trifecta, speak to us here at FIVEAA.
REQ makes switching to solar simple. One local expert handles it all. Panels, home batteries, EV chargers and water heat pumps installed by their own in-house team, not contractors. Everything's designed to work together. Store your power, charge your car, heat your water for less. No middleman, no confusion. Just one trusted company delivering real savings and reliable service. Locally owned, fully accountable. REQ. Google REQ Energy Solutions for a free in-home quote.
Hi, I live in an apartment and I need an outdoor blind. Okay, that was weird. Hi, I live in an apartment and I need an outdoor blind. What on earth is going on?
Phantom Screens.
I need an outdoor blind for my apartment.
Sure, we can do that.
Oh, great. The last people I called just laughed at me.
Don't worry, Phantom Screens have a solution just for you.
Ripper.
Phantom Outdoor Blinds.
Last month, around 11,000 people trusted us with their pride and joy. Automasters, logbook servicing, repairs, brakes, aircon and more. Isn't it time for you to switch and save? Call 1300 Automasters. Great service, guaranteed.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
It is 20 minutes past 6 o'clock. It is Monday, the 14th of July. And Jade, you've had your trip to KI over the weekend. We're talking about things that have gone wrong off the back of you being a little bit crook on the ferry.
Had a fantastic weekend, but just a teeny tiny minor part getting there and getting home. Crook as a dog on the ferry. So 82230000. We've got a whole stack of Wallace Cinema passes to give away. So anyone that calls in with a good story gets a Wallace Cinema pass. When has your holiday gone a little bit wrong? 82230000.
Great stuff. We'd love to hear from you folks. In the meantime, let's head across to Wimbledon because one man who does a brilliant job for us for 9 Radio, Craig Gabriel, he covers the world with the tennis. He's been doing it for years. He joins us on the line now. Craig, good morning to you. What a result overnight. Yannick Sinner beating Carlos Alcaraz in 4 sets. It was a great final.
It was a very good final, not as good as the one in Paris 35 days ago when Alcaraz came back from 3 championship points down to beat Yannick in that final. But it was still a high-level final, and there were some enthralling points played by the two of them. Really exceptional. It was in 3 hours and 4 minutes that Sinner claimed his first Wimbledon championship. Carlos was going for a 3rd consecutive, which would have put him in pretty elite company, like Bjorn Borg, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, that sort of company he would have gone into. But full marks to Yannick Sinner and the wonderful Australian connection with your own Adelaide boy, Darren Cahill, being one of his 2 coaches. And I'm so thrilled for Killer because he's just the nicest person you could ever hope to meet, and that rubs off on Yannick as well, and his other coach, Simone Bognozzi from Italy, another really nice person.
I feel like these two are just going to have such a battle for a very long time, aren't they? Can I ask, in the crowd, is it split 50-50 or do they have a favourite? Because they're both they seem like both really lovely players.
Yeah, Lauren, they're both really lovely guys. I mean, they're so down-to-earth and humble, and they've got such respect and kindness as well. And this is just going to be the most remarkable rivalry between the two of them that's developed. So the crowd itself was a bit more for Carlos. Mm-hmm. And by the way, he doesn't like being called Carlos. He prefers Charlie or Carlitos.
True.
And then... Well, yeah, because he feels that Carlos is a bit of a negative way. Like, you know, we might just say, oh, he's a right Charlie. In Spain, they'll say he's a right Carlos. So that's how it works. But the crowd were with him chanting his name, and then suddenly the crowd started chanting Yannick, Yannick, Yannick. So it was a great atmosphere. The Royal Box was absolutely full with really highfalutin guests, and you know, Yannick was also just saying that it was so nice to have the Prince and Princess of Wales and the two kids here as well watching the match.
It was sensational, and he's now won all the Grand Slams except for the French.
Yep.
Charlie has won all of them except for the Australian Open. I think Alcaraz has got 5 majors, Yannick's in a 4. Do you think, Craig, it's going to live up to the hype and the magnitude of the rivalries we've had with, you know, Nadal and Federer, and then Djokovic coming in with those two players as well? Do you think these two will be able to keep and elevate that rivalry so that, you know, people are as captivated as they have been for the last 20 years with those other rivalries?
I have no doubt whatsoever that's what's going to happen. And by the way, the most prolific rivalry in men's tennis was Novak against Rafa. And in all of tennis, it was Chrissy Evert and Martina Navratilova. They played 80 times. So, you know, yeah, absolutely. I think this rivalry is going to develop, and we're going to see some enthralling stuff from the two of them. I really believe that. And there's just such a lot of respect between the two of them as well. So, you know, I think we're in for an absolute treat.
Which is great. And just on the women's side of things, Craig, unfortunately for Amanda, who'd had such a brilliant tournament, Amanda Anisimova, she was just comprehensively beaten by Iga Swiatek, who's another player who's going to go down as one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, I just want to say that Carlos was actually trying to win. He was in his 6th major and was trying to win his 6th major.
Wow.
He'd never lost a final. And this is the same sort of thing with Iga. Iga is now played 6 majors and has won them all. So, yeah, absolutely. She's quite remarkable. That was so one-sided, as we know. It was over in 57 minutes. It's the first time since 1911, and the only second time in the history of Wimbledon that we've had a 6-love women's final. And the 57 minutes was the quickest in time since 2019 with Simona Halep and Serena Williams.
Incredible result. Craig, I cannot wait to see you a little bit later in the year. I know you often come here to Adelaide for the Adelaide International when I'm calling. So continue your travels. Enjoy. We've got the US Open coming up, the final major of the year. So can't wait to hear you again there. But thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks, guys. Talk later.
Thank you so much.
Great stuff, Craig
Gabriel.
Have you
ever been to Wimbledon?
I haven't been to Wimbledon, no. Have you?
No, never. And I would love to. I think just purely, obviously, for the tennis, but then to try Pimm's and a strawberries and cream, I think it'd just hit differently.
Yeah, well, I think next year, if we're hosting 5AA Breakfast, why don't we do it from over there?
Surely. Two sports heads.
Yeah.
I think we should.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Phil Hoffman would jump on board, wouldn't he? He'd get us over there.
This is good. We can work on our pitch together in the ad breaks.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
he's retired now. Let's go to Tony in Seaton. He's called up about a cricket story. Good morning to you, Tony.
Good morning. A great story from Italy. The Italians made the World Cup there for cricket. So, and 3 of the players there were Ben Minetti, Harry Minetti, and Joe Burns. But the Minetti brothers actually played here in South Australia for the Strikers, and Joe Burns, a former Australian.
That's so cool. So tell us more about this team.
They have the Italian grandparents who live in Italy, even Joe Burns. So they went there with a dual passport. They had the Euro passport, so they were able to play the Italian team. So, and it's a great story, I think.
Yeah, good stuff. So Italy has qualified for the T20 World Cup next year. It's going to be, I think, in Sri Lanka and also India. So they've made the event. You have these, obviously the main countries that make it, like Australia, India, Sri Lanka.
I did not even know Italy played cricket.
But Italy played cricket. So I guess the lesser nations, if you like, the less recognised ones, they have the ability to make major tournaments like this. So they're in there. And as Tony pointed out, some
3 South Aussies.
South Aussies are in there, and Joe Burns is in there too, who has played for Australia in the past. So a great result there for them, and thanks so much for calling in, Tony, about that. On that note, we might talk a little bit more sport right now. We'll do it all thanks to Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home, gliderol.com.au. And over the weekend, Jade, we have had plenty of sport, winners and losers, which we always do on a Monday. Let's start with the winners. Port Adelaide yesterday, they had to do it the hard way, but they got it done against West Coast. I was really worried for them at quarter time and sort of 15 minutes into the second quarter. They were 25 points down, but they turned it around, won by 26 in the end. So a good result. Mitch Georgiades continued his good form. He kicked 3 goals, could have easily kicked 6 or 7. I think he booted 3 goals, 5 for the game.
I was just more interested in Harley Reid and Jason Horne-Francis.
What a battle. Now, that was a definite winner from the game. That rivalry. You can just tell 2 bulls, 2 competitive beasts, and neither took a backward step. I love that they got stuck into each other.
I love that Jace then just kicked 2 goals. And
After Harley chirped him up and said, you could see him say, go home to your mum, which is kind of ironic because Harley Reid's probably going to go back to Melbourne. So it's kind of like, well, mate, can you really? And then Jason went, okay, kick 2 goals, and then pointed at him and said, that's for you, buddy, but kick 3 goals.
It was fantastic.
Horne-Francis, I think I said on the call yesterday, I called the game to Treaders and Timmy G, I said he's my favourite player in the comp.
I love him.
Yeah, I love him too.
He's just so full of spunk. Seriously, he does not back down.
So that was great. The loser out of yesterday, unfortunately, and we'll wait to hear today, the scans was Connor Rosie. We hope it's not a broken hand, but doesn't look good. Other winners, the Crows, Riley Thilthorpe, career best 6 goals. He was absolutely magnificent. I've been a busy boy. I called both the games. I know you were in KI. You've been busy. But that was such a fun game to call. One of the most fun games I've called this season. Riley Thilthorpe was breathtaking.
Isn't he?
Really quiet at quarter time, and then 6 goals. He destroyed the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And Jordan Dawson was great. Dan Curtin, my goodness, is he going to be a player? 26 touches. He was sensational. They'll finish top 4. We'll talk to Rowie later, but he said it in the call. They can win the flag. They're that good. The other loser, though, feel sorry for him. Hope he's feeling better. Jordan Butts, he's in hospital, punctured lung.
That's amazing. And they've tried to go back throughout the vision to try and find out what incident that it was. I know Darcy's been cleared of that punch to the chest.
I don't think it could have been that.
Well, that was sort of higher to the left.
It was just a push,
over
wasn't
the heart. Well, I mean, it was a bit harder than a push, but a punctured lung. It's really
bizarre.
Really bizarre.
Other winners,
Poor
we just
bugger, that'd hurt like hell.
Oh, that would have. Yeah, he's still in trouble. Can't travel home. Other winners, we just spoke about it. Yannick Sinner, Egish Fiontek, Brock Feeney in the V8s was extremely good on the weekend. And the Adelaide Thunderbirds, a great win for them. They're locked in for the finals, which is fantastic. So the chance for a three-peat remains alive. Losers, Essendon, they were disgraceful. Amanda Anisimova obviously lost 6 love. Those racist fans and the Aussie top order continuing to struggle in the West Indies. That's it, though. Time to head across to the newsroom. Mel Usher and Corey Norris with all the very latest.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 14 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Hands you can trust and state-of-the-art facilities. Physio Extra, tailoring care for you. PhysioExtra.com.
Police are looking for a driver who stole a car during a break-in at Norwood. They were called to a report of a break-in and car theft from a home on Kensington Road around 1:45 this morning. An intruder broke into the house and stole a handbag, wallet and car keys to a BMW hatchback parked in the driveway. The car has been located in Elizabeth East. There are renewed concerns about wait times in our emergency departments. The Doctors' Union says some patients are spending days in EDs waiting for a bed in a ward after receiving treatment. The longest stay clocking in at 72 hours when a SNAP inspection was carried out late last week. The Prime Minister has again defended Australia's defence spending. The US Under-Secretary of Defence says his country will continue calling for allies to boost defence spending, warning of frank conversations with them. Anthony Albanese, who's on a trip to China, says Australia is already playing its part.
We are increasing our defence spending and investment by more than $10 billion. We have contributed as well to AUKUS already, going forward $1 billion.
There's a change to Australia's plasma donation rules. Most sexual activity wait times are now removed to allow gay and bisexual men, transgender people, sex workers and people on certain HIV treatment to donate, previously not able to donate if they'd had sex within the past 3 months. Lifeblood's Emily Granland hopes an extra 625,000 Australians might now be able to donate plasma.
When you do donate, you do have to fill in a questionnaire before you donate, and you also do have to have a health check. So our processes are thorough in order to make sure that you're fit and healthy and ready to donate.
Researchers say Australia's energy system is under growing pressure as demand increases and the need to cut emissions intensifies. A State of Energy Research Conference will be taking place in Sydney today, aiming to tackle challenges around energy market reform and climate resilience. University of New South Wales Energy Institute Chief Executive Danny Alexander admits time is not on our side in the race to net zero.
We don't have all of the solutions that we need to get there. We still need many new technologies and models. That is really at the heart of the conference. It's not just about academia, it's really about the collaboration that we have in research.
And Superman is back on the big screen, the latest movie making $123 million stateside in its opening weekend, with a total $217 million at the global box office. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Agostino Mitsubishi's is overstocked with demos that must be cleared. Upgrade your vehicle today. Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Corey Norris.
Good morning, Mel. Speaking of superheroes, Yannick Sinner has become the first Italian to win Wimbledon, defeating Carlos Alcaraz in 4 sets. His coach Darren Cahill said Sinner was determined to flip the script of Roland Garros.
He knew the importance of closing this one out when he had the opportunities. And with that, I think you saw a bit more energy from him in the big moments and a bit more focus to knuckle down and make sure that when he had his nose in front that he kept on closing the door against Carlos, and he did an amazing job with that today.
Crows defender Jordan Butts remains in Melbourne, where he's being treated for a punctured lung suffered in Saturday's win over the Western Bulldogs. He's unable to fly, so will be driven back across the border sometime this week. Port Adelaide captain Connor Rozee will have scans this morning to determine the extent of a hand injury he suffered in yesterday's win over West Coast. Australia has the West Indies at 3 for 77 just after tea on day 2 of the third test in Jamaica. Australian golfer Grace Kim has won her maiden major title, taking out the FIVEAA Championship in a playoff. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cosy. Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au now and register your interest today.
14 for your Monday with showers, a shower or two tomorrow, 15. Wednesday, a shower or two, 15. And Thursday, 16. Right now, it's 8 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Yeah, we're up and going here on 5AA Breakfast, 24 minutes to 7 o'clock. It is Monday, the 14th of July. It is Bastille Day. Remember, we're at the market on Friday.
Of course it was. So it would be rude not to have more crepes and champagne.
Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It'd just be rude not to.
Good way to start the week for us.
Let's bring in our friends. I think that'd be just fine.
That was those crepes with the butter and sugar on Friday.
Yeah, that was next
so
level
yum.
amazing. It was like a crusty caramel on the outside. That was delicious.
That was incredible.
Tom, this week is National Diabetes Week, and figures that are being released today reveal that 2 million Australians, another 2 million Australians, are at a high risk of developing the condition. Joining us to have a little chat about it is Justine Kane from Diabetes Australia, the CEO there. Good morning to you, Justine.
Good morning, Jade and Tom. How are you?
We're great, thank you. Why do you think these numbers for diabetes in particular keep rising so significantly year on year?
Look, it's a really complex issue, and we know that diabetes is an epidemic in Australia, and specifically we're talking about type 2 diabetes here. So we're in the midst of a type 2 diabetes epidemic with someone in Australia being now diagnosed every 8 minutes.
Wow.
Type 2 diabetes is really complex. There are genetic factors involved, environmental factors involved, family history involved, and lifestyle. The key thing we really want to be clear on is there should be no stigma around this. We need to raise the national conversation so we can collectively take action.
So, Justine, what should people do if they're thinking, I might be at risk here or I'm not so sure? How do they best go about it to work out whether or not they are suffering or are susceptible?
Yeah, fantastic question. And that's why this National Diabetes Week we're focusing on prevention and encouraging everyone to go and get a health check. So Diabetes Australia has partnered with Priceline around the country. They've got 300 pharmacies around the country, and anybody can go in. You don't need an appointment. You can go in, do a health check on their Priceline health machines. They're free. It takes about 5 minutes. The information is confidential, and we encourage everyone to then speak to their healthcare professional. Now, if you live in regional or rural areas or somewhere where you can't get to a Priceline pharmacy, you can also jump onto the Diabetes Australia website and do an online risk assessment there, and then go and speak to your health professional.
Justine, what are the symptoms?
Yes, thank you. Feeling more tired, being very thirsty. In the case of type 2 diabetes, you might be putting on some weight. And this is one of the challenges with type 2 diabetes is lots of those symptoms can be, misunderstood for something else, or someone feeling like they're getting a little bit older, they're a bit run down, and you just don't know. So that's why it's so critical to go and get these health checks done.
Thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Justine Kane there, who is the Diabetes Australia CEO. We're going to keep on moving. We're going to head out to Playford now. Glenn Doherty, who does a brilliant job out there, is the mayor. And joins us.
Fiasco going on out in this neck of the woods.
Yeah, there's a bit going on, and there's a story on page 4 of the Advertiser today, Jade, and it regards residents being a bit annoyed at the lack of, I guess,
their post isn't being
service.
delivered.
Yeah.
And that would annoy you.
It would annoy you. So they have to go to their post office to collect their boxes so they don't get delivered to them door to door like they do for a lot of other residents. It's all a little bit technical, but basically they're not happy.
Why.
Exactly. So let's go to the man who knows all about this, Glenn Doherty. Glenn, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Jade.
Tell us what's happening to the residents out at Virginia, and they're a little bit annoyed at the moment.
Look, they are, and it's to do with the Australia Post mail delivery. So most suburban areas across Adelaide, as all of the residents listening today would know, that they get mail delivered to the letterbox at the front of their house. Now, this doesn't occur in Virginia, and what generally has happened before is that people have a post office box. They could collect their mail from the post office box, or they could get their mail delivered to the local post office at Virginia, and they could go in and collect their mail. But unfortunately, that's no longer an option. If you've got Australia Post box at Virginia, you can still pick up your mail there. But if you were one of the residents that couldn't get roadside collection of your mail and went into the local post office, you can't do that anymore. So you'd have to drive down to Burton if you're from Virginia, or if you live in the new fast-growing suburb of Riverlea, you've got to drive to the local Two Wells post office to pick up your local mail because there's no roadside delivery. Now, last year there was a poll by the local residents wanting to see if they could get roadside mail, but unfortunately that lost. There's a bit of a technicality around how Australia Post does that. But now what we're seeing is that residents in Virginia and Riverlea don't have a local post office they can pick up their mail from. They've got to drive up to 14 kilometres away to pick up the mail, which is absolute disgrace for fast-growing communities in the outer suburbs of Adelaide.
Glenn, it's not as if you're in Grong Matong in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I mean, Virginia's within, outer metro, I'd call it, or you could possibly label it that in a few years' time. What's the excuse that Australia Post are giving you?
Well, Australia Post have said to the community that when they did their poll, that not enough residents wanted to have roadside mail delivery. Now, the great way that Australia Post does this, which is absolute farcical, is that they dropped off a survey to about 830-odd households, in the community, and then you had to fill it in and return it. And if you didn't return your postal vote, if you like, then Australia Post declared that as a no vote. So there was 853 total letters delivered. Returned was 446. The yes vote was 412 and the no vote was 44. But because so the no vote, was 33. But because there was a whole bunch not returned,
of course,
they didn't then.
It went past the number. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely, just past the number. So it was a 52% no. So,
that's
so actual return. Yeah, so 412 residents returned the post saying yes. There was 33 that returned the vote saying no. But because there was a number of residents that didn't return the vote, the Australia Post said that failed. But put that to one side. The biggest issue with this is Virginia and Riverlea are fast-growing communities. They deserve to have 21st century services, and Post is such a thing. There'd be an outcry if there was an internet connection. There'd be an outcry that you didn't have electricity. So why can't you have mail delivery to your local household address? It is just ridiculous that Australia Post doesn't have access for residents of Virginia and Riverlea, and the residents are sick of it. The council has moved a motion that we write to Australia Post showing our displeasure. The local MP is involved as well, who's very concerned about the lack of this service. And Australia Post, as Australian government service, needs to sharpen up its advocacy here and get on with the job and just start delivering the mail to people's letterboxes out the front of their house.
Well said, Glenn. Because, Jade is probably in a similar boat. I'm the same. Busy families, you get something in the mail, you might just throw it out, totally forget to fill something in. Takes time and effort. But 90% of the people who did actually vote have obviously said yes. What would the reasoning be behind Australia Post not doing this? I imagine it's just economic.
Look, that's a question for Australia Post. I suspect, and again, I don't speak for Australia Post, obviously they don't want to get out and talk to our residents about this. I would suspect it's an economic reality for them that they don't make money by delivering mail to roadside delivery. That's ridiculous. We're a fast-growing community. Virginia's population will double in the near future. Riverlea will be about the same size when it's fully complete as Mount Gambier. And to think that the residents that currently live there now, the households that are there, don't have access to mail and they've got to drive to Two Wells, or the residents of Virginia, some of those residents of Virginia, a generation of residents now have to drive to Burton to pick up the mail because they can't do it at their local post office, is just appalling in this day and age. And the government needs to do something about whipping into shape Australia Post. And I urge the CEO of Australia Post to pull his finger out, come on down to Virginia and Riverlea and speak to the local residents there and start delivering the mail.
That is bizarre. Thank you, Glenn, very much. Glenn Doherty, the Mayor of Playford Council there. Australia Post, get back on your bike, start delivering again. That is ludicrous. And, if you can't do it 5 days a week, that's fine. Deliver maybe 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
If it's a financial problem, but at least show them respect. And, we're not talking about a town of 50 people here. There's thousands and thousands of residents. That's not good enough.
And they're developing fast, as he said, and people need their mail.
This wouldn't happen in New South Wales or Victoria.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not good enough.
It is. Yeah. And they've got them on a technicality by sending out these ballot forms, but assuming that it's a no because they haven't voted, that's a bit stiff. 90% of people that did vote have voted yes, they would like it. And of course, if the other 400 knew that, they'd probably vote yes as well. So, yeah, it seems like a pretty easy one to fix, I would have thought. 14 minutes to 7 o'clock. Let's check out the roads for the first time this morning. Don't get stuck on the side of the road. Get RAA road service.
Thanks, Tom, and morning, Jade. This morning got a truck roll over at Dry Creek. It's on the north-south motorway, the Wingfield interchange, road closures there, so pretty big delays. Look out for that this morning. That'll create a couple of headaches. Slow for works at the moment at South Plympton. That's for ongoing works on Marion Road and Anzac Highway, and getting busy at the moment, Brighton Road, Glenelg East. Early morning camera, Adelphi Terrace, Glenelg North. Today at Harvey Norman, save over $600 on a Dyson V15 Detect Absolute Stick Vac. Now down to just $834. Harvey Norman, 10 days of deals ends today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
This is the sound of chef and business owner Tom sleep-talking.
Yes, chef. So many bills. Team happy. Keep the team happy.
He's feeling the pressure of running his own business, and it's costing him sleep.
Bills.
But it doesn't have to. Westpac Small Business Solutions can help keep the cash flowing and get Tom a good night's rest. Search Westpac Small Business Solutions to find out how we can help you. Eligibility, credit criteria, fees, T's and C's apply.
Hi, I'm Adam from Gutser. We've been relining gutters across Australia for nearly 30 years. Now you can get your hands on our DIY house gutter relining kit. This means you can install gutter liner for under $10 a metre. It's tough, has a 10-year weatherproof warranty, and it's 70% cheaper than replacing your gutters. Go to gutser.com.au to see the installation videos. Buy online and get the kit delivered to your door. Nothing can be finer than Gutser gutter liner.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. The National Tiles famous annual winter spend and save is on now. Spend $4,000 will only charge you $2,750, or spend $2,000 will only charge you $1,450, or $1,000 will only charge you $750. Don't miss the National Tiles famous annual winter spend and save on now. So rush into a National Tiles store near you, or go online at nationaltiles.com.au now and save. Conditions apply.
Come on in.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 90 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Smack bang on 11 minutes to 7 o'clock on this Monday, the 14th of July. Jay, we're getting plenty of feedback on the text line about our previous caller, our topic from Glenn Doherty talking about residents in Virginia not being able to get door-to-door Australia Post service.
Yeah, if there's anybody out there that's not getting their mail either, 82230000, let us know. We've got a text here saying, I live in the marina at Wallaroo and we all can't get mail delivered, although the township does. That one's very bizarre. It's like they just don't want to go that extra little mile and deliver it. I don't give a reason at least.
Well, I wonder whether or not is that population because it's not, densely populated enough, so they just drop it off to the local, town
it's
area.
It's not fair, though, that then those residents have to then pay for a mailbox delivery as well on top of that. If you're in the similar boat and you're not getting your mail, 82230000, give us a call because it feels like those residents in Virginia aren't the only ones.
Yep, we'd love to hear from you. Let's get to the Bureau in the meantime. Simon Timke joins us this morning. Simon, good morning. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. A little bit of weather around. We had some more rain and looks like we might get a little bit more over the next few days.
Morning, Tom. Morning, Jade. Yeah, a little bit around the place. Looking on the radar at the moment, we've had a couple of showers move across the southern suburbs, sort of across Noarlunga and areas south of there. And not too much else around at the moment, but I think a little bit later in the morning we'll see the showers increase a little bit. And I don't think they'll be too heavy, but probably showers a little bit more frequent sort of through that late morning, early afternoon period. Temperature-wise, we had an overnight minimum 6.8 degrees at about 2:40, sitting on 8.5 in the city at the moment and expecting a maximum of 14. Around the suburbs, 14 as well for Glenelg, 13 for Noarlunga and Elizabeth, 12 degrees for Mount Barker today. The wind's generally light northeasterly now, and they'll turn around a little bit more northwesterly later on this morning. On Tuesday, still one or two showers left over. I think most likely in the early morning. The wind's generally pretty light, down to 8 overnight, 15 degrees the maximum for Tuesday. Wednesday, still a shower or two, I think 15 degrees. And Thursday, another front moving across, which will bring some showers, most likely during the morning, I think, on Thursday, 16 degrees the maximum for Thursday. Friday should be mostly dry, I think, and hopefully a little bit of sunshine around the place for Friday too, 16 degrees. Then most likely see one or two showers around for Saturday and Sunday, Tom.
Great stuff. Thanks so much for that, Simon. Looks like there is a little bit of rain, which is a good thing, but clearing up probably for the weekend, not looking too bad at the moment, but probably need to pack the umbrella if you're heading into work or going out for a walk on most days this week.
Geez, it was cold at the footy yesterday.
It was.
Let's head over to SAPOL. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes joins us. Good morning to you, Rebecca. A stolen car's been tracked to Elizabeth East last night.
Yes, good morning. We were called to a report of a break-in and car theft from a home on Kensington Road, Norwood, about 1:45am this morning. An intruder broke into the house and stole a handbag, wallet and car keys to the red BMW hatchback that was parked in the driveway. Now, the stolen car's onboard tracking showed it loitering outside several addresses in Royston Park before it led police across the northern suburbs to Adair Court, Elizabeth East, where the car was located abandoned an hour later at 2:45am. Police searched the area with the assistance of Polair and police dog Enzo, but the suspect was not located. And we did find another set of car keys to a Subaru inside that stolen BMW. And we're asking any residents in the Norwood Royston Park area to perhaps check, especially if you own a Subaru, check where the keys are, because we think there may have been another break-in perhaps in the area and they perhaps had plans to steal another car. So might be worth checking there and contact 13144 if that's the case. But yeah, anyone with any information, CCTV or dash cam of this red BMW hanging around the Norwood Royston Park area or where it was dumped at Elizabeth East, they can contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
And what can you tell us, Rebecca, about a truck rollover that's occurred at Dry Creek?
Yes, a big clean-up on the hands for emergency services this morning after this semi-trailer rolled at Dry Creek last night. Happened about 5:15. Police and emergency services were called to the interchange of the Port River Expressway and the North-South Motorway at Dry Creek following reports that a truck carrying flour had rolled. The driver's a 26-year-old Victorian man. He's been taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, the on-ramp for the Port River Expressway for those heading eastbound to join the North-South Motorway, that on-ramp is still closed this morning. It's expected to be closed for the duration of the morning peak, perhaps almost till lunchtime. Big clean-up there. Not only this spilt flour with the rain overnight, there's probably resembling glue at the moment, but there was also damage to the infrastructure and barriers and roads. So, big clean-up there. So if you normally take that route, you'll have to find an alternative this morning.
We're getting just a few pictures coming through on our live stream, so we're getting a look at it now, Rebecca. Yeah, it looks like significant damage there, so I can imagine that will take quite a while to get all that back in order.
Yeah, exactly. And the investigation into the crash is still ongoing there.
Thank you so much, Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes. That would be like sludge across that road. That's going to take a long time to clean up. Yuck. Oh. Tom, a remarkable tale of survival in that harsh Western Australian outback. That German backpacker missing for 11 freezing nights has been found, and it's an amazing story. Carolina Wilger, she's 25 years of age, spent nearly 2 weeks alone in rugged terrain before a chance encounter with a passing motorist saved her life. Joining us on the line now is Calum O'Grady, who's the owner of Bush Rangers Survival. Good morning to you, Calum.
Good morning.
Tell us, what do you think got her through? How did she survive?
Well, it's an incredibly harrowing story that any one of us could find ourselves in. I think what it was that got her through it was definitely finding shelter early on. You're going to get into muscle entropy within the first couple of days. You're going to want to rest a lot, and having somewhere to be safe and out of the elements is extremely important. Being able to find natural water sources, the fact that it was during a wet spell is also essential. We need water within the first 3 days for our survival, so being able to find water is incredibly important.
It really does become a case of just those survival instincts kicking in. So, yeah, finding shelter, making sure you've got access to water, and then keeping warm as well, I imagine too, Calum, because the nights get really chilly at this time of year.
100%, yes. Being able to find adequate warmth is going to be essential, especially as it's dropping down to the zeros at the moment. The fact that she was able to survive it is truly extraordinary.
How important is mental resilience in something like this? Getting to 11 nights, she must be bloody strong.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I personally, I think it's more important than skill set. There are people out there that have all of the hard skills in the world. They can practice in their back garden when they've got a few hours spare between work. But actually being able to implement them in a survival situation is 100% mental capacity that's going to get you through that for sure.
What are the most common mistakes people make when they get lost in the outback?
Well, I think one of the most important things that people tend to neglect is staying where they are. The brain goes into panic. Most of us have lived our entire lives in the city, and when it comes to a situation that feels out of our comfort zone, we tend to try and fix the situation by moving away from the situation we're in. Whereas I hear that she had a lot of supplies. She had a tent or some bedding material there. Staying where you are is definitely the most important thing.
It's really good advice, Kaylin, because you're right. It's the natural instinct, isn't it, to look for help, to seek help, to move from where you are. But you're saying the best thing is to actually stay put, because that way, you know, those that are looking for you will be able to find you more easily?
Most definitely. The best track they've got to follow are the tracks from your vehicle. It seems like she veered off of the road into the bush a little bit, and it can be very daunting to be in a situation where you feel that exposed and you feel like you're in danger, but there's so much Australian bush out there. If you think about the amount of cars that litter the road between Adelaide and Catherine, there's a lot of situations where people break down and you're just best to stay by your car and essentially stay by the road. They are natural highways and byways and the only landmarks in some places of Australia that people can even find you.
What signs can help you determine direction if you don't have a compass or a phone, or if it's gone flash?
Well, the main one really is looking at the sun. Rises in the east, sets in the west. I don't like to do anything at high noon, so when the sun's high in the sky, you shouldn't be really trying to be tactical. But being able to tell your east and west, but you really need to know what your bearing is to start with. Finding your way around, you can follow birds. They'll generally fly towards water, but that's never a certainty. The best recommendation is definitely to look at major landmarks. You know, if there's a big hill, a big mountain, if you're near St. Catherine's Peak, something of that nature, heading towards that natural waypoint. But generally speaking, you don't want to risk it. You want to stay where you are.
Great advice, Caleb. It's a fantastic story in the sense that all has ended up being okay, and we're thankful for that. And we really appreciate your time this morning with us on 5AA Breakfast.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Caleb. Well, look, let's hope none of us have to use his survival tips.
But some good tips there, weren't there? Like the birds flying to water and all that kind of stuff. It's you know, it's so simple, isn't it? But
always go back to nature. They say just before a tsunami, all the animals will go to higher ground, and you almost can't hear anything. There's this piece, and the birds fly. Everyone just gets out of there.
It's a sixth sense for them, isn't it?
It certainly is. So she was found just walking along by a station owner in WA that just basically stumbled across her, jumped out of her car, gave her a big hug and said, "You're safe now." She's been taken to hospital. Apparently she's in pretty good condition and back with her family. It is quite remarkable.
26-year-old who's been missing for 12 days.
Yep, 11 nights in freezing conditions.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, amazing. What a story she's got to tell. But thankfully, is able to live to tell it. So that's a great story in the end, but some good advice there from Callum O'Grady, who is the owner of Bush Rangers Survival. We'll take a short break, then we'll head across to the newsroom.
How do you make a birthday, long weekend or holiday even more memorable? You take it to the Murray River and step aboard the Murray Princess. From festive Christmas sailings to toe-tapping country music and Neil Diamond tribute cruises, there's something for everyone. Share the special cruise experience with your family and friends. Book your Murray Princess event cruise today. Visit murrayprincess.com.au.
Shane from Drummond Golf, you've been busy turning good golfers into great golfers.
Thanks, Rowie. We have the best gear for golfers at all levels.
And it's not just about getting a new set of clubs, it's the experience and the advice you get when you walk in.
Exactly, Tim.
We always strive to be a complete experience. We're all golfers, we're passionate and we know the sport. Plus, with a price match guarantee, you know you'll get the best for less.
And you'll improve their game with Mini Golf Max, Big Swing Simulators and My Match Expert Fitting.
We certainly will, Rowie.
Well, you've helped me, Shane. I shot over 200 metres the other day.
What, in the right direction?
Yeah, not so much.
I think you're going to need more than one lesson.
Lift your game with Drummond Golf, Australia's biggest golf retailer.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Showers today, 14 with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Physio, Pilates, hydro, massage, podiatry and exercise classes. Physio Extra's Holistic Care. PhysioExtra.com.
A BMW stolen from a Norwood driveway has been dumped in the northern suburbs. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says the keys were taken during a break-in on Kensington Road in the early hours of this morning.
Now, the stolen car's onboard tracking showed it loitering outside several addresses in Royston Park before it led police across the northern suburbs to Adair Court, Elizabeth East, where the car was located abandoned. Police searched the area with the assistance of Polaire and police dog Enzo, but the suspect was not located.
The hunt for the driver continues. Police found another set of keys to a Subaru inside the BMW and are asking any residents in the Norwood Royston Park area to check to see if their keys have been stolen. A stolen SUV has been torched at Blakeview. It was reported on fire on Medlow Road shortly before 3 a.m. The Kia had been taken from a local address yesterday afternoon. Well, a semi-trailer rollover at Dry Creek is under investigation. Police and emergency services called to the interchange of the Port River Expressway and North-South Motorway just after 5 last night. The driver, a 26-year-old man from Victoria, has non-life-threatening injuries. Racism has reared its head again in the footy. The AFL Integrity Unit is investigating racist text sent to Indigenous players Jace Burgoyne and Nasiah Wanganeen-Millera via direct message on Instagram. Port Adelaide and St Kilda referred the messages directly to AFL House after both teams played yesterday. US President Donald Trump is marking the 1-year anniversary of the attempt on his life by attending the FIFA Club World Cup. More from correspondent Jonathan Kersley.
They were the shots that echoed around the world and changed the presidential campaign when then-candidate Donald Trump was shot at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. He survived. 20-year-old gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks was shot dead by a sniper. Now a new report says there was a cascade of failures by the Secret Service that could have led to an assassination. On the 1-year anniversary, President Trump has been joined by Rupert Murdoch at the FIFA Club World Cup.
And a meteorite from Mars is expected to fetch more than $2 million US at auction. The 25-kilogram rock is said to represent nearly 7% of all Martian material on Earth. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Agostino Mitsubishi's is overstocked with demos that must be cleared. Upgrade your vehicle today. Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
It's over to Corey Norris.
Very good morning, Mel. World number 1 Yannick Sinner has defeated Carlos Alcaraz in the Wimbledon final, his 4th Grand Slam title. Alcaraz says while he's disappointed, he's keeping himself in a positive mindset.
I want to think like, okay, I just played the final in a Grand Slam and trying to forget that I lost it. I'm just happy. I'm smiling because in my head it was about playing the final and be grateful for that.
Port Adelaide is hoping captain Connor Rozee has avoided a potentially season-ending hand injury suffered in yesterday's win over West Coast. He'll have scans this morning. North Melbourne ruckman Tristan Sherry is facing suspension for a sickening blow that knocked out Demons forward Tom Sparrow. Coach Simon Goodwin says Sparrow will continue to be monitored by medical staff.
You know, they'll make the best decision there. As I said, he's up talking. He can remember the majority of the game and, that's a good sign. But clearly he's going to be monitored quite closely by a medical team.
Australia has the West Indies at 5 for 96 in the second session of day 2 of the third test in Jamaica. And Chelsea has stunned Champion League winners PSG to claim the FIFA Club World Cup 3-0. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Dry Creek. Roads are closed due to a truck rollover on the North-South Motorway at the Wingfield interchange. That'll cause a few headaches this morning. Getting busy. South Road, Clovelly Park, slow going for works at O'Halloran Hill, the Southern Expressway to Majors Road. And cameras spotted this morning, Candy Road at O'Halloran Hill and Eastern Road at Happy Valley. Wrexham are down under. Catch them on Paramount Plus as they take on Sydney FC tomorrow from 7 p.m. Live and exclusive only on Paramount Plus. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cosy. Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au now and register your interest today.
Heading for a top of 14 today with showers. A shower or two tomorrow, 15. Wednesday, a shower or two, 15. And 16 on Thursday. Right now, it's 9 degrees on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
2 years ago, Jen had a stroke that completely changed her life. The Allied Health team at Enable Fitness Centre helped her regain balance, mobility and function with hydrotherapy using their underwater treadmill. Jen now has the confidence to get back into the community. Enable Fitness Centre is an accessible gym for people with disabilities, a registered NDIS provider. You'll find Enable Fitness Centres at Holden Hill, Elizabeth and the brand new Kidman Park and St Mary's locations. enablefitnesscentre.com.au.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Busy first hour on 5AA Breakfast, and we've got a big second hour coming up. It's 7 minutes past 7 o'clock, Monday the 14th of July. Hope you're having a great start to your morning. We're going to be talking algal bloom in a moment or so. Huge weekend of football. Stephen Rowe will join us on the show. He called the game on Saturday, the Bulldogs and the Crows. E-scooters now allowed on public roads. Are they a danger to public safety? We'll discuss that, and the Prime Minister with a big trip over to China. But Jade, what I want to discuss right now, in the first fortnight of South Australia's knife amnesty, nearly 500 weapons, including swords, machetes and ninja stars, have been anonymously handed in. Let's have a listen to the Attorney-General, Kyan Ma.
The police declared a 3-month surrender period where South Australians could bring in their machetes or swords to any police station. Every single sword, every single machete that is not out in the public is one fewer opportunity for a crime to be committed. There are a number of exemptions for things like for educational purposes, historic purposes, genuine business needs.
I'm all for this. I had a family member had a knife pulled on them only a couple of weeks ago, and it was a very random attack, unprovoked attack, and rocked our family, to be honest, and it hasn't been fun. And I'm all for this. Take them off the streets. People are raging right now. It doesn't take much to set a lot of people off.
Yep.
There's been a lot of attacks, more so than normal, than we've seen in the last couple of years. So if 500 of those weapons are off our streets because people have anonymously handed them in, then I'm all for it. A lot of people collect them though for whether it's a collector's item or something like that. So there's still a little bit of confusion out there in regards to who has to hand them over and who doesn't. But I think just err on the side of caution. And if you do have a knife or a ninja star or something like that, pass it in. But I'd like to get people's thoughts. If you do have one at home in the pool room or hiding somewhere, give us a call and let us know, what situation you find yourself in. Because, like I said, I think better be safe than sorry. Hand them in.
8223 0000 is the number, or you can send us a text 0448 08 1395. Jade, can you believe it's been a year since the first attempted assassination of Donald Trump? That was in Butler, Pennsylvania.
I got whacked. There's no question about that. I think they shot 8 bullets, and one got me. I really would like to be known as the man that saved our country.
So that's Donald Trump reflecting on that incident 12 months ago.
It was phenomenal, wasn't it? Just nicked his ear and then just, fell to the ground, came up and did that strong salute that was now an iconic photo, isn't it? And then has gone on to win the presidency. It was I feel like it was a real turning point in his campaign.
And there's been a lot of cynics saying that it was a setup and it hasn't happened since. You get all the conspiracy theorists. He does it his way. You heard him there saying he wants to save the country. Ironically, a lot of people are saying that he's destroying the country at the moment with everything that he's doing, but he is entertaining. I mean, he's must listen, isn't he? Every day we get something fresh out of Donald Trump. He's extraordinary to listen to. It'll go down in history with whatever he does in his next few years of presidency. And yesterday also, Jade, speaking of big anniversaries, it was 40 years, can you believe, since Live Aid. All right. How good is that? Freddie Mercury, the unmistakable sounds. He had the most magnificent voice, and he stole the show there with Live Aid. Jade,
I wonder if any of our listeners were there. Did you see it? Did you go? 8223 0000, because I would love to hear it through your voice. If you were there, what was it like? It was, amazing group of people that got together to raise an amazing amount of money. It'd be nice to do an anniversary show, wouldn't it? But nothing's better than the original.
Yeah, that was outstanding. And what's the best concert you've ever been to? That would have been incredible to be at. But
what's the best concert you've ever been to?
I still think for me it was Robbie Williams in 2005, I reckon, or 2006. It was after Australia had just won the Ashes. They'd won the Test match, amazing Adelaide. Mike Hussey hit the winning runs, and then the concert was straight after down at Footy Park, Amy Stadium, and he just had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand, a bit like Freddie Mercury did there. He was just on that night.
He's a performer.
He's a performer, and he just had this electricity about him, and the crowd was just eating it up. It was dynamic. It was unbelievable. What about you?
Oh, I loved Roxette. Was my first and favourite band.
Must have been Love.
Yes,
love that
it's
song.
Over now. I went to see that at the entertainment centre many, many moons ago, and I just remember they blew up these massive big balloons, and we were all bouncing them around. It wasn't in the days of like the big Katy Perry show or Taylor Swift or anything like that, but it was just raw fun. I absolutely love it, but I'm not a massive concert person, I must admit, and I love Coldplay, and I stupidly gave my tickets away to some family friends, and I big regret not going.
They'll come again. You'll get them. You'll get them.
I wish I went to Taylor Swift. I really like her. And
hard to get tickets there, though.
I know. I wish I attempted to even try.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is going to be a concert that people talk about forever.
Well, if she comes back, we'll try and go together.
Okay, because you didn't go either, did you?
I didn't, and I wasn't a Tay-Tay fan, but I am now. So I'm all on board.
Too little, too late for us.
I know.
We snoozed and we lost.
Give us a call, though. What's your favourite ever concert? 8223 0000 is the number.
Let's go now to the algal bloom, which we've been talking about for the last couple of months, and in particular since we've been on the show the last couple of weeks. An independent royal commission, it must be convened to examine the wide-ranging and devastating impacts of the toxic algal bloom, says the Liberal Party. And joining us now is Shadow Minister for Primary Industries, Nicola Centofanti. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jade and Tom. Thanks for having me.
What do you think a Royal Commission right now would achieve?
Yeah, so look, Jade, we're really concerned about the government's what seems to be a fairly flat-footed response to the algal bloom. I think, it appears that they were hoping it would go away with the change of weather, but the reality on the ground is that it's spreading, it's getting worse, and they really don't seem to have any plan as to how we can minimise the damage, not just for the short term, but in the medium to long-term future. And that's why we believe this crisis absolutely deserves an urgent Royal Commission. And I think the benefits of a Royal Commission is that they are powerful, independent investigations, and they have real teeth, and they're able to compel evidence. They can seek expert scientific advice, which is just incredibly important. They can interrogate decision making, and they can also deliver binding recommendations. I think this is about doing everything that we can collectively to ensure that we understand the full impact of this disaster, and also what actions that we can take to help the industries through, because it's not just the commercial fishers or the aquaculture industry that's affected, it's the flow-on effect to the communities and the businesses that make up these coastlines. When the boats don't go out and the catch doesn't come in, it's not just the fishers that suffer, it's the local seafood processors, the truck drivers, the fish and chip shops, the waterfront cafes, the tackle stores, the tourism operators. There's so many people that are impacted, and those people are those that rely on our pristine waters to draw in visitors here in South Australia. And those businesses are the lifeblood of many of these coastal towns. And so, when our seas are in crisis, they are in crisis. So, we believe that we need urgent action, but we also need a long-term plan. And we believe a Royal Commission would bring that independent accountability, that transparency, and most importantly, some real recommendations for the best way to support those industries, not just now, but into the future.
So, Nicola, if you were in the driver's seat, what would you have done?
Look, I think it's really about having we need an immediate, transparent plan of action, not just for the recovery phase, but for, the acute response, which we're still into. We need to be trying to minimise the impacts of this crisis, and we need to be really trying to reduce the damage to our commercial sectors, our recreational sectors and our tourism sectors. So we need to be looking at, real investment in marine monitoring. We need to be looking at better coordination across agencies and of course that early support for those affected industries. Unfortunately, the government have been very flat-footed with relief for the fishers. Now we know that they've come out with 25% off licence fees, but we are calling for a full waiver of commercial licence fees beyond June of this year, because these guys have just had their licence fee bills come in and they're thousands and thousands of dollars, and these guys do not have an income at the moment. We're also... if I was in the hot seat, I would be going to my federal colleagues and pleading with them to help our South Australian fishers. Our commercial fishers are currently not eligible for farm household allowance, and that is because of the quote wild catch. They absolutely should be eligible for farm household allowance. They are the farmers of our sea. So there are a couple of things that I would certainly be pushing for.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Shadow Minister. We might move on to Bart Butson, who is a fisherman in the Port Wakefield area. Bart, thank you for coming on this morning. How have you been affected? And you've just heard there from the Shadow Minister. Do you think a Royal Commission would be appropriate?
I'm not sure on the mechanism to get more insight into this. Whatever it takes, the guys on the ground would be happy with. If it's the Royal Commission, so be it.
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly about that side of it, but my colleagues further down the coast have been much more affected than I have been. Some of my fishing colleagues on the south side of our drops around the Stansbury area, they don't catch any fish. They don't go fishing. There's no fish. So those guys need some, assistance with their household bills. We really appreciate what the government has done by lessening the impact on the licence fees, but I think this has got to the point where we need a little bit more than that now.
So it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's you think going to be significant, and we spoke about that last week, those licence fee assistances that they're going to be given the fishers, but it's going to be significant long-term impacts, you think, for a lot of the people out there?
We just don't know. I mean, every day we hope that it would get better. And in my area, we've been very lucky that it's mild in my area, so we're seeing some species disappear, but not all. So there's still some income for the guys at Port Wakefield. But in other areas, they need more. They need probably a full waiver of fees, I would say, it looks like. Unfortunately, it's really sad to see the dead fish watch out, the bottom fish. It's really sad to see that.
But thank you so much. It's painstaking to walk along the beach and see these dead fish. It doesn't sit well, and you just know that something really awful is going on out there that has this awful impact on these families. And like Bart said, it's coming to a point now where people can't afford to pay their bills and put food on the table. And that's where we need more funding, more sponsor, whatever it is, whether it's a Royal Commission, I don't know if that's too little too late. Just throw all your resources at it and get it fixed. Find a solution.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a long-term problem, doesn't it? And, if people who rely on catching fish can't catch any because there are none there, then they're going to be severely impacted from a financial point of view. We've put the call out, best live concerts that you've been to. That's off the back of it being 40 years since the Live Aid concert, which was so significant. The likes of Freddie Mercury and Queen were there. Let's go to Sean from Port Adelaide. Sean, good morning to you. What's your best ever or favourite ever live concert that you've been to?
G'day, team. 1998, Theberton Theatre, Jewel. I don't know, Rennie, you might remember her. Jade, I'm not sure.
I do, yeah, old school.
You do. I thought you might be a bit young. Lined up all night on a Friday night in terrible weather to get front row tickets for me and a couple of friends. It was before the internet, so the internet was in its early pickings, and so the only way was to line up. Have never forgot it. It was fantastic. It's one of those ones that stay with you. Got photos from the night. Always look back at it. Fabulous.
I love that, Sean. Good on you. What a great call. Jewel Kilcher, her name is, I think, 51 years of age.
I just remember it being this gorgeous, angelic, blonde-looking woman with this voice of an angel. I can't remember for the life of me what song she sang, but yes, I absolutely know Jewel. Sean, stay on the line. We are going to send you a Wallace Cinema Pass. Thank you so much for calling in. Best concerts that you've ever been to, 8223 0000.
Great stuff. Really appreciate it. Let's move on to the traffic in the meantime, and you don't want to get stuck on the side of the road. You need to get RAA road service.
Morning there, a little bit damp underfoot with passing showers. Take it easy on the drive in and look out for road closed at Dry Creek today. It's due to a truck rollover on the north-south motorway at the Wingfield interchange. Sluggish already at O'Halloran Hill for works on the Southern Expressway and getting busy Brighton Road, Brighton. Thanks to Mick the cabbie too for ringing in a camera which is getting set up. Military Road at West Beach. Panadol helps relieve everyday pain. Not the pain of getting that DIY job done, but for the backache it gives you. Panadol's got you covered. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. Incorrect use could be harmful. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Doing day-to-day things online has made our lives easier. Paying bills, shopping, banking. It all makes perfect sense to do online. But what doesn't make sense is doing your will online. It's fraught with potential problems and can leave a mess behind. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes properly. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
A new battery rebate is here, and it's a game changer. The Cheaper Home Batteries program with NRG Solar makes smart storage more affordable than ever. Eligible homes and small businesses can save thousands, and households could slash power bills by up to 90% with a solar and battery combo. NRG Solar will guide you through and lock in the rebate before the masses catch on. Head to nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160. Don't wait. The smart move is to act now.
Swearing is caring at By Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens. Now, Chloe, the communications manager at By Urban, let a ripper go the other day. Chloe swears to keep you informed at every stage of your bathroom or kitchen renovation. I like that. It means you'll never be left guessing as to what's going on. That's a definite swear jar entry.
And here's one from Jasmine, the operations manager at By Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens. Jasmine swears that all deadlines and production will be conducted efficiently and effectively.
And Laura, one of the designers, swears to ensure that your requests are met and combined with carefully selected finishes to achieve your dream space.
For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see By Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. walco.com.au.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. OK, the end of financial year might be done and dusted, but at Mawson Lakes Mazda, the deals aren't. All makes, models and colours are being cleared, no exceptions. And there's a huge range of locate demos all ready for immediate delivery. Plus, you'll get free on roads, free stamp duty, free 12 months rego and $500 worth of accessories. Mawson Lakes Mazda, Salisbury Highway, T's and C's apply.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Yeah, it's 26 minutes past 7 o'clock. It is Monday, the 14th of July. We're almost at the halfway point this morning of the show. It is time now to talk a little bit of sport.
Stephen Rowe on 5AA Breakfast.
What a great weekend it was for our two football teams, Port Adelaide and the Crows, with sensational results, particularly Adelaide. And Stephen Rowe joins us on the line to discuss it. Rowe, we were lucky enough to call the action on Saturday. Riley Thilthorpe with a career best 6 goals. My goodness. Top 4 looks
The
like it's
Beast.
just about locked in. Yeah, the Beast with a beard. He was brilliant. What a victory it was for Adelaide. You called it, Rowie. They can win the flag. Do you stand by that?
Oh, Jade and Tommy, yep, good morning. Yeah, let's start with the Crows. That was a great win. I built it before the game. The winner of this can win the flag. And it was the Crows. They were emphatic in the end. You're right, 6 goals from Riley Thilthorpe. It was another complete team effort. Sadly, Butsy's got a lung problem. He'll be a couple of days over there in Melbourne, but they've got backup for him with Nick Murray. But I said post-game they can win the flag. They are up to their eyeballs of this season. Let's tick a few boxes. They've got the talent. I think they've got some courage in the squad now. They wouldn't want to lose Thilthorpe or a Ruckman or, one of their star midfielders or Dawson, but every team can say that.
Rowie, don't put it out there.
No, I'm just saying they wouldn't want to afford to do that, Jade. That's what I'm saying. They've got the squad. I don't think they've got the depth of the squad, but they've got the squad. They've got the hunger. They've got the game style, I think, to go all the way. Centre square's still a work on, Tommy. You'll agree with that. They get scored heavily against from stoppage. You'll agree with that. And this game-saving mode, they've just got to get better at that mode of football. But apart from that, God almighty, they can win the flag. Here are the games. So people say, "Oh, I'll lift the lid." I'm not lifting the lid. I'll lift the lid. Actually, Jade, you'll like to hear this. I've matured after 2017. After 2017, being an absolutely banshee person, we can win it. We can win it. Go to the MCG grand final day and get smoked. I'm just going to be measured like the team. Now there's 6 games.
Very calm. I thought you'd be really up and about this morning, but I don't mind this new Rowie. But I do like the excited Rowie.
We've had a let's call it a board meeting of sorts with mentors and let's just say radio officials that are saying, what did you learn from the 2017 campaign, Rowie, where you led the charge? And I said, well, nothing. I know we can't do the stance position. Going too berserk. Anyway, here are the games. We got the Suns this Sunday. We got a tricky one against Hawthorn away, and we've got the showdown will be tricky, and then Collingwood at home. Tommy, what a lead into finals, because they're playing finals. That you couldn't wish for a better lead in for that. So, no, I'm really excited.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Okay, I cannot wait. Thilthorpe and Mac Andrew. That is going to be an almighty showdown.
That's the rematch, Rowie. Remember when those two were going at it in their previous clash? So that'll be on this week. I forgot about that. Yeah, good on you, Jade.
About that?
Well, yeah, I don't think the fans will forget now that you brought that back up, Jade.
And
Jason Horne-Francis.
And Jace all over again. Mate, that is going to be showdown-centric, that little bit.
Oh, yeah. And Rowie, speaking of that, Jade's just brought it up. How good was it yesterday? I know the game wasn't brilliant, but Jason Horne-Francis versus Harley Reid, that was box office yesterday.
Well, it was, and they're both bulls. They're both competitors. They both won't take a backward step, and they both like to have a bit of a chirp. We're going to watch that duo probably for the next 10 to 12 years, aren't we? That was superb. Hey, Port were in all sorts of strife early, but they settled. The second half blew them away. They found a way to win, which was fantastic. Do you know what? As a player, it's a tough time to play, and you can see the frustration in the Port players. When you know as a player you can't play finals, takes a real professionalism to play from then on. So well done to the boys. Big show after 4. We're going to speak to both clubs. Cannot wait. Hey, just before I go, how was this round? Everyone was billing it moving round. What's the theme here? Lions beat Carlton, Suns beat Collingwood, Crows beat Dogs, Freo beat Hawthorn, Geelong got beaten, and the Swans beat St Kilda.
All the non-Victorian sides?
Correct. The VFL clubs were all Los Angeles losers, sucked in. Well done.
I love your work, Rowie. And Riley O'Brien on during the week as well. They've got to sign him up.
He had a very good game,
He
didn't
was
he?
outstanding, Rowie. So, great call on the weekend, Rowie. Loved working with you again. We look forward to hearing you from 4 o'clock today.
See you at 4.
Great stuff. Stephen Rowe there. He'll be on with Timmy G. A great weekend for both footy clubs, albeit injuries to Jordan Butts and Connor Rosie. They'll have the latest a little bit later on. In the meantime, let's head across to the newsroom.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 14 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Hands you can trust and state-of-the-art facilities. Physio Extra, tailoring care for you. PhysioExtra.com.
The hunt is continuing for the driver of a BMW stolen from the eastern suburbs and dumped at Elizabeth East. A home on Kensington Road at Norwood was broken into this morning, the accused grabbing the keys to the hatchback. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says the onboard GPS showed it at Royston Park before heading north.
And we did find another set of car keys to a Subaru inside that stolen BMW. And we're asking any residents in the Norwood Royston Park area to perhaps check, especially if you own a Subaru, check where the keys are, because we think there may have been another break-in perhaps in the area and they perhaps had plans to steal another car.
A Kia SUV has gone up in flames at Blakeview. It was torched on Medlow Road early this morning. The vehicle was reported stolen yesterday. Two of the AFL's Indigenous players have been racially abused online following round 18 matches. Port Adelaide's Jace Burgoyne and St Kilda's Nasiah Wanganeen-Millera both received messages via Instagram. The AFL Integrity Unit is investigating. Well, the Prime Minister has declined to say if Australia would fight in future conflict between the US and China over Taiwan. Anthony Albanese says our nation supports the current state of affairs in regards to the Southeast Asian country. The Strategic Policy Institute's Michael Shoebridge says Australia just wants peace and security in the region.
Deterring conflict over Taiwan is important. That's why Australia is involved in sensible collective defence planning with our partners and allies.
2 people have been killed and multiple people injured in a shooting at a church in Kentucky. Local police say the gunman wounded a state trooper before making his way to the church in Lexington and firing on several others. Some of Live Aid's key players have marked the 40th anniversary of the concert in London. They attended a special performance of the musical based on the event called Just for One Day. Bob Geldof and Midge Ure taking to the stage for a rendition of the charity single linked to the concert. Now turning to 5AA's sport.
Agostino Mitsubishi's is overstocked with demos that must be cleared. Upgrade your vehicle today. Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Corey Norris.
Good morning, Mel. Port Adelaide captain Connor Rozee will have scans this morning to determine the extent of a hand injury he suffered in yesterday's 26-point win over West Coast. Coach Ken Hinckley says they'll take a cautious approach.
I think a dislocated finger, and then it was like, well, we're not quite sure how this is looking. We'll take some necessary action here and take him out of the game based on he's too important to us for not just today but for the long term. And
World number 1 Yannick Sinner has won the Wimbledon final. Craig Gabriel reports from the All England club.
Yannick Sinner has redemption. He's the first Italian to win Wimbledon. He's defeated Carlos Alcaraz 4-6, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 in 3 hours 4 minutes. 35 days after losing one of the great finals, Sinner has turned things around. You wondered if the French Open was going to be a repeat. Sinner was up a break in the first, but Alcaraz rallied to win that set. This time Sinner kept coming back and victory was his.
Australia has the West Indies at 5 for 122 on day 2 of the third test in Jamaica. The Aussies now lead by 103 runs. Australian golfer Grace Kim has won her first major title, taking out the FIVEAA Championship in France after a playoff. Fellow Aussie Minjee Lee finished equal third. And that's the 5AA sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Stirling. Look out for breakdown on the freeway. She's heading inbound just near the Stirling ramp. Car stuck in the middle lane, so that's not great. Got a truck rollover at Wingfield this morning. It's on the north-south motorway at the Wingfield interchange. Look out for that with big delays and slow South Road, Clare Valley Park. Early morning camera, Adelphi Terrace, Glenelg North too. The IKEA sale is now on. Enjoy up to 60% off hundreds of products. Head in store or to ikea.com.au before everyone finds out. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cosy. Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au now and register your interest today.
Showers today and 14, a shower or two tomorrow 15, Wednesday a shower or two 15 and Thursday 16. Right now it's 9 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
There was this huge spider.
Really silly place for a letterbox.
Seriously, there were cows all over the road.
At FIVEAA Panel Services, we've heard it all. But the one thing we hear often is, when will my car be ready? In most cases, we can start work straight away, thanks to our state-of-the-art workshop and highly skilled team. Ask your insurance company for FIVEAA Panel Services. With over 45 years' experience, we'll get you back on the road sooner. premierpanel.com.au.
Transform your home with the Inspired by Life sale at Choices Flooring. Save on a range of stylish carpet, timber, rugs and window furnishings. Visit choicesflooring.com to download the catalogue or visit your nearest Choices Flooring showroom today.
Oh, geez, it's hot in here. Can someone pass the Morford air? Oh, that's better.
When the temperature is too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air, Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company. Morford Air has kept South Australians perfectly comfortable for over 50 years. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, you can always reach for the Morford Air. Look for the bright blue building at 602 Marion Road or visit morfordair.com.au.
Morford.
Hello, darlings. Celebrate the festive season in style at this year's Cabaret Christmas at Adelaide Convention Centre. A spectacular lineup of show-stopping entertainment with Adelaide's hottest party bands and, best of all, me, Hans, your MC. So gather your workmates or your friends as we toast the season with an all-inclusive 3-course dinner package. Don't miss Cabaret Christmas. Book now via the Adelaide Convention Centre website.
Hi, I'm Adam from Gutser. We've been relining gutters across Australia for nearly 30 years. Now you can get your hands on our DIY house gutter relining kit. This means you can install gutter liner for under $10 a metre. It's tough, has a 10-year weatherproof warranty, and it's 70% cheaper than replacing your gutters. Go to gutser.com.au to see the installation videos. Buy online and get the kit delivered to your door. Nothing can be finer than Gutser gutter liner.
When you think of single malt Scotch whisky, you might imagine Scotland's green hills, her fresh babbling brooks, and rows of oak barrels. But you can get the same feeling right here in Adelaide when you walk down the aisles at Powell's. Sam and Jamie from Powerfield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf. They can guide you through Scotland's best whisky labels and the best from around the globe, all under one roof. Powerfield Airport Liquor Store. Powell's, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Powerfield.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Yes, it is, and we're going to be here all week as well. David and Will return next week. It is 21 minutes to 8 o'clock. It is Monday, the 14th of July. Betty Davis Eyes, another great song.
Such a good song. I've started to sing that in my head then. Another one here we've been talking about on the back of Live Aid's 40th anniversary. The best concert, the best performance that you have ever been to. 8223 0000. Everyone that calls in gets a Wallace Cinema Pass because it is the holidays. There are some belter blockbusters out right now. So we're trying to help you out, get you through these school holidays and send you off to the movies thanks to our great mates at Wallace Cinemas. Oh, this concert would have been sensational. Joshua Tree at Adelaide Oval. You a U2 fan?
I am a U2 fan. I reckon I went to that one. That was back in 2006 as well, I reckon. 2006 maybe.
You had a busy year that year.
2007.
You were a concert goer?
No, I was at... the one I went to for U2 was actually at Footy Park. I was a bit underwhelmed, to be honest, with U2. I've always been a U2 fan, but I didn't love it. I didn't think it was amazing.
Nothing worse than when you're revving yourself up to go and see your favourite and you walk out going,
bit underwhelmed.
That was a dud.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson came here and apparently that was absolutely sensational.
Well, he's just a performer, isn't he?
Yeah.
One I have never seen that I would love to go and see, and he's still rocking and going great, is Bruce Springsteen, The Boss.
Yeah. Oh, I saw Madonna, actually. I just remembered.
She's brilliant.
That was brilliant.
I listen to her music all the time.
Yeah, she never gets old,
I'll tell you who else does.
And physically.
Mel Usher. She is a Madonna tragic. She loves Madonna.
Yes, she does. A lot of messages coming through for the algal bloom as well. A lot of people calling for more support for our fishermen farmers out there. Just, it's cruel, isn't it, everybody? They've really, everyone's feeling it. And, you know, if you walk along the beach, you see it. Everyone, and, you know, we keep talking about the fact that it's a bushfire under the sea, and it really is. And if it was still burning like this on the land, then it'd be up in arms. It's something that we can't see under the sea, but we see it washing up on the shoreline, and it's just devastating. So a lot of messages coming in. We were talking earlier about areas that can't get their letters delivered. Few people messaging in on that as well. So if you're one of them and you're having a problem with Australia Post and you're not getting your letters delivered, call in 8223 0000 is the number to call.
Do that for sure. But right now, Jade, we're going to be talking a little bit of e-scooters.
Yeah, they're allowed on our roads. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, so it can be an issue, can't it, at times? And, you know, when you're walking down the footpath and you're sort of minding your own business and then an e-scooter comes the other way and you panic for a second, don't you? Because they can come at pace and can sometimes cause serious injury or even worse, death. So, you know, there are some controversial new laws that are coming into effect.
Let's talk to Professor Terry Slevin, CEO of the Public Health Association of Australia. Terry, good morning to you. Are you for or against e-scooters?
No, it's not as simple as that, I'm afraid, Jade.
It's really not, is it?
No. As a principle, they can be a very useful mode of transport. They're low impact in terms of the environment, being mostly electric driven, and can be convenient and fun. And, you know, we're not anti-fun. The bottom line here, however, is that we've seen increasing evidence of accidents, injuries, and you're right, deaths as a result of e-scooters, both as, for riders in some cases and for pedestrians and others. There was a gentleman in Perth in his 50s just going to a restaurant and got hit by an e-scooter only a matter of weeks ago. There was a young boy in his early teens in far north Queensland who died as a rider of an e-scooter. The study that was published in our journal, the Australian New Zealand Journal of Public Health, recorded the injuries to people under the age of 18 around the Sunshine Coast Hospital. So it was doctors working in emergency in the Sunshine Coast Hospital who observed people coming in busted up into their emergency ward over a 2-year period. And in essence, they found 176 young people, so they weren't counting adults, just the what they call the paediatric cases. And not surprisingly, it was mostly teenage boys around the age of 14, 15. And in Queensland, they're allowed to ride them. It's a different story in Queensland. It's an 18 and over rule, in South Australia, and that's welcome. It's a very good idea, I think, to ensure that it's adults who are riding these devices. But what we discovered when we started looking into it further is that the regulations around e-scooters are a dog's breakfast. They're all over the place around Australia. Different places have different rules as to what age you need to be to ride them. In the ACT in Queensland, basically 12 and up can ride them, even younger in the ACT if under parental supervision. But most states have it at least 16, South Australia, Northern Territory at 18, and so that's a good start in terms of getting more mature people riding around on devices that, as you say, can travel a serious clip. Most jurisdictions say they have to stick to 25 kilometres an hour or less, and generally it's less if they're using footpaths, but most states don't allow them to be ridden on footpaths. So, as I said, there's a whole bunch of different rules around states and territories of Australia, but one of the fundamental problems we had was that there isn't data collected about the harm associated with these things. Now, you know, we always hear the road toll and, you know, X number of people have died, and we know exactly at any given time in any jurisdiction how many people have died on our roads, and we should know that information. We don't systematically collect information about injuries linked to e-scooters, either riders or people that riders ride into. And as a fundamental, particularly when you've got different rules in different states, it makes sense for us to keep record so we can compare what rules are working best. So it's a really fundamental starting point, but we think that there's a lot more work that needs to be done to properly regulate what are relatively new devices that people are using to get around on.
No licence, no registration, no insurance needed. We're talking about e-scooters, e-skateboards and e-solo bikes. I mean, if you injure a person, you can't identify them. I mean, you can go and sue them, but then you may find that they don't have any assets, but then you've got to go to the expense of suing them. I mean, this seems a little bit rogue to me.
Yes, there's the insurance aspect, which, as you say, is far from settled. But there's also the basics of how we know that people are using them, know the road rules, for example. And as I said, I think those jurisdictions where people under the age of 16 can ride them must seriously be looking at that provision. As you say, no licence provision, so you can't get demonstration or proof that people know the rules of the road. And everybody who's listening might guess that kids who are 12, 13, 14 are going to have far less caution and road sense than people who are more experienced. So we really think that this little study in the Sunshine Coast really pointed to, firstly, a deficit of proper data collection, but then secondly, an enormously inconsistent set of rules for devices that have now been around for probably 7 or 8 years. And I think it's one of those challenges. And you're right, it's not just e-scooters, there are e-skateboards, e-unicycles, there's all kinds of things that we see out and about in our footpaths, shared paths, bike paths and even roads. And I think there's a challenge for all of our states and territories to start getting their act together, and the starting point is getting good information to help them to make proper regulation, because we know, and the evidence is accumulating, that there are injuries associated with them and in extreme cases deaths.
Well, I know at least here in South Australia, you have to be 18 to ride an e-scooter. Is that right, Professor? So I think that's a good thing over here in SA.
Absolutely. It's a very good thing. Another thing that's ubiquitous for all of the states, everywhere where they're used, you have to wear a helmet when riding them. Unfortunately, it's pretty common that people don't. And the other thing is you can't be intoxicated. And, of course, there's a pretty common trope around these things that says, if you're going for a big night out, don't take the car, but instead if you can grab an e-scooter, then you can get home and not get yourself in trouble. But of course, when you're riding some of these things, and if they can pedal along at 25 k's an hour or more, then you're seriously putting yourself at risk if your balance and judgment's impaired by alcohol or other intoxicants.
Professor, thank you so very much. I'm all for them within a vicinity of the CBD to get in and out. But I mean, imagine going up the freeway and passing one of these on the southern freeway or up to the, I don't know. I think this spells a bit of disaster on our roads, to be honest.
Yeah, and like you said, there's a bit of ambiguity and confusion, I think, around what is legal and what is illegal. So people just need to be aware, but it can be a real hazard out there for pedestrians and, motorists alike, with these e-scooters.
How are the cyclists and the e-scooters going to get along?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about concerts, the best performance you've ever been to. We've got a stack of Wallace Cinema passes to give away. We've got Nick in Edwardstown on the line. G'day, Nick.
Good morning. Yes, it was about 75 I saw at Football Park. Alice Cooper did the Welcome to My Nightmare.
Oh,
and a couple of things with the concert. After the interval, he come on wearing a pork Guernsey, and I was at the back of the member stand. It was at Football Park, and all you could smell for the whole concert was dope smoke coming to the back.
So you left high and mighty.
I wasn't even on it, and I was high as a kite.
Oh, good on you. Sounds like it was a great night, Nick. Really appreciate your call. Let's get out to Nicole at Morphett Vale. Nicole, what's your favourite concert that you've ever been to?
Good morning. Well, it's a toss-up between Bon Jovi and Pink.
Oh, two very different ones, but I'm a big fan of both, particularly Bon Jovi. Grew up on his music. Love him.
Yeah, that was December 2013. I only remember that because the concert was the day after we got home from our honeymoon. So, it was fantastic. Really, really good concert.
And Pink, that was a beautiful performance too, I think. They said that was a real performance, like a Katy Perry, Taylor Swift type thing. And
the aerials she does.
Yeah.
Like, she can sing upside down. And, I was really close to the stage at the last concert at Adelaide Oval, and I threw my T-shirt up. It was a concert T-shirt of hers, and she signed it and gave it back to me. So that was really, really good.
Did she bring her daughter up on stage and sing that gorgeous song?
She did. It was amazing.
I love that
it was
song.
really, really good. After that performance, her daughter actually flew home. So that was the last time that Willow would have been performing with her mum for a while.
Oh, that's so cool. Nicole, thank you so much. Stay on the line and we'll send you out some Wallace Cinema passes.
Keep those calls coming as well. 8223 0000 is the number. She's a real favourite here in SA, isn't she, Pink? She often performs
She's
multiple.
basically an honorary I was going to say South Aussie.
Adelaidean. Yeah, she is. She performs here all the time. She loves it. Very popular. Time to check out what's happening on the roads. It's better to be a member with RAA Road Service.
Morning there at Dry Creek. Roads closed due to a truck rollover on the north-south motorway at the Wingfield interchange. We're getting busy at the moment. South Road, Clovelly Park. Quite slow for works at Glen Osmond, Portrush Road near Giles Road. And got word of a camera getting set up at the moment too. Tapley's Hill Road at Fulham. Today at Harvey Norman, save $350 on a Samsung S24 FIVEAA mobile and over $1,000 on a 65-inch Samsung 8K smart TV. 10 days of deals ends today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
What's on your bucket list? Cruising around the world? Doing a hot lap around Bathurst? Learning how to play drums? Before you plan a bucket list, plan your will with Donlan Lawyers. A will, power of attorney and advanced care directive speak for you when you can't. It means you and your loved ones will be taken care of. Visit donlanlawyers.com. Put it on your bucket list. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Now more than ever, you need an agent who's not just out for a quick sale. You need someone who can stand their ground to ensure you're maximising your home's potential. There's a good reason Toop and Toop is defying market trends and continuing to deliver premium outcomes for its clients. With a history spanning over 40 years and a team of unrivalled experience, Toop and Toop knows what it takes to maximise your results in any selling conditions. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
Australia's Cheaper Home Batteries program is here, and it's your chance to save thousands on a new home battery system. With up to 30% off a battery installation, NRG Solar can help you claim rebates worth up to $18,500.
Whether you're adding a battery to existing solar or starting from scratch, this is the moment to act. NRG Solar are ready to help you maximise your savings, and yes, systems installed from now are also eligible.
NRG Solar are the local experts. They'll guide you through your options and help you lock in the rebate. Visit nrgsolar.com.au or give them a call. That's 1300 858 160 and get ready for lower bills and real energy independence. That number again, 1300 858 160.
The King Living Winter Sale ends soon. Save up to 50% on Australian designed, award-winning furniture. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Sale ends soon. Shop online or visit a King Living showroom today.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
7:54 here on 5AA Breakfast. It is Monday, July the 14th, and Jade, the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, he's on a very important trip at the moment over to China.
He is. He's spruiking renewed green energy. They're going to hold a pretty important meeting today, and to tell us all about it, Tim Lester, 7 News reporter, is in Shanghai with the Prime Minister. Good morning to you, Tim.
Morning, Jade. Morning, Tom.
Could you tell us more about this round table and why exactly the PM's in China?
Well, he's in China for a couple of reasons. One is for an annual leaders meeting with Chinese leadership. The big leaders events, including a meeting planned with President Xi Jinping, is in about 24 hours. But today he's having a business focus, if you like, and a number of executives from leading Australian iron ore producers, Fortescue, BHP's here, Rio Tinto's here, and others, are sitting down with Chinese steel makers and the Prime Minister to discuss hopes of decarbonising the steel-making process. It contributes about 7 to 9% of the global emissions, and so they're talking about that topic here today. And he's also talking more generally to business leaders at a luncheon in Shanghai before he relocates to Beijing for those meetings tomorrow.
And how important are these meetings? I mean, given the current economic climate, everything that's happening in the world with the tariffs coming from the US, how important is this meeting to shore up our relationship with China, Tim?
Well, even if you weren't concerned about some of those factors, simply knowing that iron ore exports to this country from Australia are worth $100 billion to us a year, an extraordinary amount of money. We send China roughly 60% of its iron ore for steel making, and there's talk that China may be looking for other sources of iron ore. So it's a colossally important economic input for Australia, and Anthony Albanese makes that point whenever he can, and so in a sense he's here defending that as a critical part of Australia's wealth.
Tim, really appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on 5AA Breakfast.
Pleasure, guys.
Tim Lester, 7 News reporter in Shanghai, ahead of those really important meetings that he talks about. So we'll follow that story very, very closely. We've been putting the call out this morning. Your favourite ever live concert that you've been to. Barry from Campbelltown has called in. Barry, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you, Barry. Which concert left you feeling...
February 1972.
Oh, you got the date. Yep.
19th, actually. Led Zeppelin at Memorial Drive.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, well, they had a whole series of concerts at Memorial Drive. Saw the Stones there, the Hollies, Zeppelin, and then later on Bon Jovi.
Barry, thank you so much. They're starting to bring back concerts to the Memorial Drive. It is a brilliant place to watch one. Barry, thank you so much. Down the line, we'll send you some Wallace tickets. Linda in Heathfield. Oh, it'd be chilly up there this morning.
Oh, yeah, good morning. You can say that again. Actually, I'm still in bed.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for tuning in. What's your favourite concert you've been to?
Yeah, many years ago, I went with some friends because they knew that I loved Diesel. And so this was down at Norwood, and there was Brian Cadd, Russell Morris and Diesel. And, and I had my picture taken with Diesel. I can't remember the name of the pub, but it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
In Norwood?
Yes, I did. A nice little play on words. I remember they played that song all the time, didn't they? With the AFL scores, they'd say, if you don't want to know the scores, look away now. And they played the Diesel song all the time. What a great song that was.
Oh, it's just so catchy, so good. Yeah, Diesel's wonderful.
Thank you so much. I wonder if anybody out there was on the 12th of June, 1964, when the Beatles came to Adelaide.
Yes.
Was anyone there? Did anyone go to that concert?
Well,
that's probably the best ever concert that's ever taken place here in South Australia.
We had the 60-year anniversary last year. I remember that. That was a big story at the time. So, yeah, if anyone went to that one or saw them, we'd love to hear from you. 8223 0000 is the number. Keep those calls coming. Or send us a text, 0448 08 1395. Plenty more coming up after the 8 o'clock news.
Hi, I live in an apartment and I need an outdoor blind. Okay, that was weird. Hi, I live in an apartment and I need an outdoor blind. What on earth is going on?
Phantom Screens.
I need an outdoor blind for my apartment.
Sure, we can do that.
Oh, great. The last people I called just laughed at me.
Don't worry, Phantom Screens have a solution just for you.
Ripper.
Phantom Outdoor Blinds.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes. A multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 14 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Physio, Pilates, hydro, massage, podiatry and exercise classes. Physio Extra's Holistic Care. PhysioExtra.com.
Police are looking for a driver who stole a car during a break-in at Norwood. They were called to a report of a break-in and car theft from a home on Kensington Road early this morning. An intruder broke into the house and stole a handbag, wallet and keys to the BMW hatchback parked in the driveway. The car has been located at Elizabeth East. A Victorian man has been injured in a semi-trailer rollover at Dry Creek. It happened at the Port River Expressway and North-South Motorway interchange last night. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says parts of the road will be off limits till lunchtime.
Big clean up there. Not only this spilt flour with the rain overnight, there's probably resembling glue at the moment, but there was also damage to the infrastructure and barriers and roads.
Our emergency departments are back in the spotlight. The Doctors' Union says some patients are spending 3 days in EDs waiting for a ward bed after treatment. It follows a snap inspection at the Lyle McEwen on Friday. The SA Salaried Medical Officers Association says this practice is not sustainable. The Prime Minister has again defended Australia's defence spending. The US Under-Secretary of Defence says his country will continue calling for allies to boost defence spending, warning of frank conversations with them. Anthony Albanese, who's on a trip to China, says Australia is already playing its part.
We are increasing our defence spending and investment by more than $10 billion. We have contributed as well to AUKUS already, going forward $1 billion.
From today, most sexual activity wait times have been removed to allow gay and bisexual men, transgender people, sex workers and people on certain HIV treatments to donate plasma. Previously, donation rules prevented these people if they'd had sex within the past 3 months. Full screening will still be done to ensure patient safety. Lifeblood's Emily Granland wants to thank the community for its support of the changes.
We do expect that an extra 24,000 donors will come aboard and start donating, and that will lead to possibly 95,000 extra donations of plasma every single year. And that is really important at the moment because the demand for plasma has never been higher.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Agostino Mitsubishi's is overstocked with demos that must be cleared. Upgrade your vehicle today. Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
It's over to Corey Norris.
Very good morning, Mel. World number 1 Yannick Sinner has defeated Carlos Alcaraz in 4 sets in the Wimbledon final. He's the first Italian man to win the trophy. Sinner's Australian coach, Darren Cahill, says they needed to move on quickly from his Roland Garros loss to Alcaraz.
He knew the importance of closing this one out when he had the opportunities. And with that, I think you saw a bit more energy from him in the big moments and a bit more focus to knuckle down and make sure that when he had his nose in front that he kept on closing the door against Carlos, and he did an amazing job with that today.
Crows defender Jordan Butts remains in Melbourne, where he's being treated for a punctured lung suffered in Saturday's win over the Western Bulldogs. He's unable to fly, so will be driven back across the border sometime this week. Port Adelaide captain Connor Rosie will have scans this morning to determine the extent of a hand injury suffered in yesterday's win over West Coast. Australia is in complete control of the third test in Jamaica. We've whipped through the West Indies this morning. The hosts currently 9 for 137 in the second session. Australian golfer Grace Kim has won her maiden major title, taking out the FIVEAA Championship in a playoff. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Dry Creek, got a truck rollover. It's on the north-south motorway, the Wingfield interchange. Delays and detours through there. Take it easy. Getting busy South Road, Clovelly Park. Slow for works to the Southern Expressway to Halloran Hill for the new on and off ramps at Majors Road with cameras Frederick Road Grange. And got word of one setting up right now, Ocean Boulevard at Seacliff Park. Arm yourself to relieve symptoms of cold and flu with Bioceuticals Armour Force, available at Chemist Warehouse. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day. Always follow the directions for use. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Stay cosy. Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au now and register your interest today.
Showers today with a top of 14, a shower or two tomorrow, 15, the same on Wednesday and Thursday, 16. Right now it's 9 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hi, I'm Dr. Laura Willington. Understaffing in our hospitals is harming you and me.
We urgently need a workforce plan to identify the right number of doctors for each of our hospitals and health services. And we need fair wages and conditions to attract and keep doctors so you can access care when you need it. Help make our health system safer for you and safer for me. Visit safermedicalstaffing.com.au. Authorised by Dr. Laura Willington, President, South Australian Salaried Medical Officers Association, Adelaide.
Deliver more with Toyota, the world's #1 forklift brand. Choose from a great range including pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts, right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Toyota forklift.
You wake up and you're feeling a bit off. Your nose is runny, but maybe it's just a cold. That scratchy throat, though, that could be something worse.
Test for COVID, Flu A, Flu B and RSV in just minutes with Cell Life, the premium 4-in-1 rapid antigen test. Fast, reliable results. Make the smart choice for your health and your family. Insist on the brand the healthcare professionals prefer. Cell Life at leading chemists and Amazon. CELLIFE.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
We're into the final hour here on 5AA Breakfast, 7 minutes past 8 o'clock. We'll be here today and for the rest of the week. David and Will returning next week. But Jade, there's been a fair bit of reaction after the story we had last week with Libby and her mum regarding ramping here in South Australia.
That's right. Libby spoke to us about her 91-year-old mother who spent 24 hours ramped. Over the weekend, we're hearing more stories, up to 3 days ramped. It's unacceptable and it seems to be getting worse. If you've had an experience, we'd love to hear from you to share your story. 8223 0000. June, we've seen records break for all the wrong reasons when it comes to ramping, and we're hearing July, it's just getting even worse. To sound the alarm and explain what is actually happening, Bernadette Mulholland from SA Salaried Medical Officers Association joins us. Bernadette, good morning to you. This is just rearing its ugly head over and over again.
Yeah, it certainly is. I was out at the Lyell McEwen Hospital on Friday and their ICU was full, their resus was full, their weight rooms are full. The morning crew was shattered. Elective surgery was down to the bare bones. It's really concerning about where we actually are when we're told that there's winter planning and things have been done. There's an expectation that we won't see the repeat annually of years and years of problems, and here we are again.
Is this the worst you've seen it?
Oh, yeah. It absolutely is the worst I've seen it. Each year I say this, the worst I've seen it, and we can see that through the data that comes out through the dashboards. We know that hospitals in the last few weeks are regularly between 150% and 200% over capacity. That puts enormous pressure on the system, on the emergency departments, but it also reflects what's going on within the hospital system itself, how busy it is. We heard on Wednesday that there were discharges, enormous amounts of discharges of patients, but still we're seeing this overwhelming demand on our hospital and our services. And that leads to real concerns for frontline health workers, for our doctors, real worry about how is this going to end up and what are we going to see throughout this winter. We've still got quite a lot of time left in winter. And what we don't ever see really is this reduction. Once we start to hit these higher levels, we'll come down a little bit and then we'll move along through the summer. And then the same thing happens and over again. It's very much a Groundhog Day experience that frontline health workers and the community experience.
Bernadette, you would have been told so many stories. What's something that's just really made your hairs stand on the back of your neck and just really get angry?
Look, certainly when I was out at the Lyell McEwen Hospital the other day, a patient had waited in that hospital for 72 hours. I always find it really concerning. I was out at Flinders Medical Centre a couple of weeks before, and the increase in violence that we're seeing within that particular emergency department was really confronting and was really concerning the staff that were out there. And that's because patients become agitated, families become agitated because of long delays in the care that they're actually seeing. We also saw, I think, in the budget papers the first time that Category 1 responses weren't happening immediately. That's always a concern. And really concerning is how full our resus rooms are for providing instant care that needs to be done for those particular patients. So it's just the overwhelming demand on our hospitals, and that leads to, burnout and fatigue. We know that there's a report that's coming out very shortly from SA Health that talks about the broken system and how that's impacting on our doctors' fatigue and well-being. So it's not just doctors, we know that. We know it's happening right throughout the health system, and it's becoming incredibly frustrating.
Which is a real concern and not something we want to hear. Bernadette, in your opinion, what's the solution then, or is there one?
Look, we all know what the problems are. I think what we're not doing is actually implementing the solutions. So we hear about, predicted flu patterns. We hear about aged care. We hear about not having sufficiency of staff. What we're not seeing are those who have the ability to put in those solutions are simply not doing it at this stage to the degree we actually need to see them. And that's now becoming incredibly frustrating. I know everyone gets tired of hearing, well, this winter it's aged care, or it's mental health, or it's flu. We know, and we know in advance what the demand is going to be on our system. What we don't actually see are the resources implemented to the degree that we actually need in our health system. And that leads to incredible community frustration, very sad stories that you heard last week, and certainly burnout and fatigue for the frontline health workers.
Bernadette, thank you so much for joining us and speaking out on this. It's a disaster what's happening right now, and we would love to hear from you if you've got a shared experience that you'd like to tell us about. 8223 0000. We've got Paul Ecclebloom, who's the Secretary of AMBO's Union in South Australia, on the line. Paul, this must be incredibly frustrating to hear these stories over and over again, but yet there is no solutions, and your workers just continuously sit ramped for hours upon hours.
Yeah, that's right. And I think what Bernie's alluded to is the problem within the hospital system, that flow-on effect is obviously us sitting on the ramps for hours and hours and our inability to respond to the community. What we're really seeing is that we're only having very limited resources to really respond to those high-priority cases, the priority 1s and 2s. We had so many pending even last night and also on Saturday night. There seems to be a good movement through the day, but what we see is towards the later part of the afternoon and evening, it just seems to be an absolute backlog, and we see those really long ramp times. I mean, we saw, and these are the stories. This is the real impact that we get from this. Is we had a single crew respond to a case way down south, and they were the only crew that was upgraded to a priority 1 cardiac arrest. They were on scene for 16 to 20 minutes on their own, with some bystanders helping to do some CPR before another crew could be released to help assist them. And we need more clinicians around a patient, especially in a cardiac arrest, to give them the best optimum chance to actually survive. Unfortunately, for everyone involved, that was not the outcome.
We've had an anonymous message come in from one of your workers who has said that they're concerned that they're losing their skills because instead of responding to calls and being out on the road, and maintaining their skill set, they're ramped. Is that a concern for you? Oh,
it definitely is, in the sense that a lot of workers, when they come through, are young, when they go through their internship and they work and develop their skills as a paramedic. We used to see lots of jobs that you'd see in a year, and that would build up your experience, your pattern recognition. You can actually identify what case types you go into in the treatment. You can offer better treatment quicker and everything else. What we're seeing is, back when I was a young paramedic, would see 400 to 500 cases a year. Now they're probably, if they're lucky, to get to 100 cases a year. So they're not utilising a lot of their skill base. And that brings sort of some anxieties as well, because they're not being exposed to the high acuity cases. And obviously that experience that sort of comes with that as well.
Well, we're talking with Matt Abrahams, who comes in and speaks to us about politics, and he was mentioning during his segment that some of your workers are spending an entire shift just sitting in the back of an ambulance whilst their patients are ramped. And he's like, well, what happens if they've got to go to the bathroom? What happens if they've got to, get a drink of what? What's happening to your workers when they're spending an entire shift just sitting there?
Yeah, they're getting extremely frustrated, but also, like Bernie's alluded to, a lot of burnout. This is the scope of practice that we're not traditionally exposed to. That's more of an ongoing nursing care, and we're sitting there, we're toileting our patients, we're trying to find some food for our patients, obviously hydration, and then obviously monitoring as well for a long period of time. They get a chance to potentially run up to the toilet and come back again, but there's a real risk that you need both crews there in case that patient does go downhill, that at least someone can respond to triage and say, we need to move this patient. 12 hours is a long time on a ramp.
It definitely is. And Paul, you're obviously speaking to a lot of people on the front line and those that are experiencing this day in, day out. What are they saying to you? What do they think the solution is? Is it more resources? How do we try and alleviate this issue?
Well, I mean, from an organisational perspective, I think we've got enough resources to service the community based on our demand if they are released from the ramp. So if we have, like we had during the week last week, 43 ambulances stuck on the ramp, that's a significant number of our resources that are available to respond to the community. We need to be able to respond in an emergency, be waiting and ready, as opposed to, can somebody clear? I think Bernie's alluded to the problems within the hospital system, and obviously that flow-on effect for us is the ramp and getting people into the ED. I know everyone's working as hard as they possibly can, but they're running out of options, and what that is causing us to do is being stuck on the ramp, and for the patient in the community, which is the most important, we can't get to them.
Are you finding that more and more people are ringing you for minor-ish issues that, rather than going to their GP because they can't afford it, they're going through the system knowing that they'll get help, and therefore you're not able to pick up those more important Code 1 kind of calls?
Yeah, look, we have a number of clinicians that sit in our communications room that try to divert these patients to other care pathways. Mm-hmm. We have ambulance clinicians who see a patient and actually utilise our alternative care pathways, whether it be a priority care centre or urgent care centre. We're seeing the highest amount of ED avoidance on record now. So we're making all those demands, we're transferring all those patients wherever necessary. But some people just can't get into their GP. And what I alluded to last week was that when they can't get into their GP, they have a start of an illness and they have all their underlying comorbidities that they live with day in, day out. That just tops them over. And when we see them, it's too hard just to start a treatment and leave them at home.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, we really appreciate you coming on this morning. It continues to be a problem, and particularly in the midst of winter, it seems like things are unfortunately getting worse and are going to get worse before they get better. Give us a call, folks. 8223 0000 is the number. Have you had an experience where you've been forced to ramp, or someone you love or someone very close to you has been forced to ramp? We'd love to hear from you. 8223 0000. Otherwise, you can send us a text. 0448 08 1395 is the number. In the meantime, we're going to check out what's happening with the traffic. Don't get stuck on the side of the road. Get RAA road service.
Morning there at Dry Creek. Still got roads closed due to that earlier truck rollover. It's on the north-south motorway at the Wingfield interchange. Detours are in place. Is super slow at the moment. Works at Glen Osmond to look out for. Portrush Road near Giles Road, and getting busy at O'Halloran Hill for works on the Southern Expressway near Majors Road for the new on and off ramps. Cameras at Adelphi Terrace, Glenelg North, and got one right now. Ocean Boulevard at Seacliff Park. Set sail in style with Flight Centre's luxury cruise sail and save up to 40%. River cruises, ocean voyages and expedition journeys all on sale until July 27. Book now at Flight Centre. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
The umpire, for some reason, was running forwards and decided to turn and run backwards into the corridor.
Oh, should allow a Brisbane goal.
They picked the ball up, snap a goal. That should have been a ball up every day of the week.
The 5AA Sports Show.
Fair enough.
Someone's going to cost a game because of umpires.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs in California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blowing up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Local and experienced trade specialists.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
It's always nice to have mates to help you out, but what if you need a ute or a van? Well, that's when you need a mate like Matt from Avis Truck Rental Adelaide.
Yeah, Matt runs the depot at Avis Truck Rental Adelaide, and he's a dead set legend. Whether you're moving house, picking up something too big or messy for your car, or planning a family road trip, Matt and Avis Truck Rental Adelaide, they've got you covered. Just ask for 5AA mates rates.
Yeah, Matt has it all. He definitely does. Moving trucks, big and small, single and dual cab utes, 4x4s with canopies, small and large vans, 12 to 22 seat buses, all the latest models, and all ready for short or long-term hire.
Trust your mate, Matt at Avis Truck Rental Adelaide. He's always keen to help you out. Jump online at avis.com.au or call 8241 5200.
Hello, darlings. Celebrate the festive season in style at this year's Cabaret Christmas at Adelaide Convention Centre. A spectacular lineup of show-stopping entertainment with Adelaide's hottest party bands and, best of all, me, Hans, your MC. So gather your workmates or your friends as we toast the season with an all-inclusive 3-course dinner package. Don't miss Cabaret Christmas. Book now via the Adelaide Convention Centre website.
Ladies, is the need to wheel the time making your life a misery? Caruso's Wee Less to the rescue. Caruso's Wee Less contains Schisandra chinensis, a fruit extract traditionally used in Chinese medicine to relieve urinary frequency. So if your need to wheel the time is getting in the way of your social life, try Caruso's Wee Less today. Caruso's Wee Less is made in Australia, comes with a money-back guarantee and is available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robron and Tom Wren.
Coming up to 24 minutes past 8 o'clock on this Monday, the 14th of July. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Now, one of the stories you would have heard throughout the morning with Mel Usher in the newsroom pertains to the Australian Red Cross, and it affects more than 600,000 Australians as Lifeblood has lifted the sexual activity rules for plasma donation. So to talk more about this, we're joined by Helen Walsh, who is a Lifeblood spokesperson. Helen, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Really good, thank you. Talk us through these changes and what it means for people out there.
Yeah, so it's a very exciting day for us at Lifeblood. We're removing most sexual activity wait times for plasma donations. And look, for those who don't know plasma, it's the liquid gold part of your blood. It's full of proteins and antibodies, and it's used to make medications that treat over 50 medical conditions. So we now collect more plasma in Australia than we do blood. So it's really in demand, and allowing another 600,000 people to become eligible from today is really significant.
What were the type of blood diseases that were being carried through, and was it really being carried through, or is this why this change has come through, that there's no evidence of that?
Well, the changes were introduced back in the 80s during the HIV/AIDS pandemic, and they were put in place. Blood services around the world put rules in place to protect the blood supply for patients. And over time, they have reduced. So they reduced, it was an indefinite ban, and over time it reduced to 12 months. And back in 2021, we reduced it to 3 months, the wait time. But we're able to remove the wait time completely now for plasma donation from today. And next year, we hope to make changes to blood donation.
So how many more donations do you think this will open up for?
So under the plasma, what we're calling the plasma pathway from today, we're hoping about an extra 24,000 people will become donors, and that will kind of give us about another 95,000 additional donations of plasma every single year, which is really incredible.
And where are we at the moment? Are we short? Do you need more blood?
We need everything. Demand for blood and plasma is just at record highs. Plasma in particular, doctors and scientists are finding new uses for plasma every day for treating various conditions. It's used for people undergoing cancer treatment, people with autoimmune conditions, use plasma-based medicines. So demand just continues to increase, and we need a new donor almost every 5 minutes. So enabling more people to become donors today really benefits the entire community and patients in particular.
And Helen, why have we got those shortages at the moment? Is it more demand, or is it a lack of supply coming through from, people?
Do you know, only 1 in 30 people donate, 1 in 30 donate in Australia, and we know many more people will be eligible. There are times of the year, like winter right now is always a challenging time for us with cold and flu season. You can't donate if you've got the sniffles and you're unwell. So demand for blood is just really high, and demand for plasma, as I said, just continues to grow because it's such a versatile product. And as I said, new uses are being found for it all the time to treat conditions. So we're just finding new ways to use it. We also live, in a country with an amazing healthcare system that gives people access to these products. So I think we're the second highest user of plasma products in the world. So demand just continues to grow.
Thank you so much, Helen. And if you want to donate, you can jump onto lifeblood.com.au. And it's the perfect time to donate because as well as doing a good deed, you go in there and they give you a nice little biscuit and a cup of tea. Perfect for weather today.
Exactly, and it's a good thing to do, and clearly we need more people doing it. So if you've got the time to do it and you can do it, it's easy to do. And like you said, you get a nice little treat at the end of it all.
Lots of text messages coming in over our ramping story. John has messaged and he says, try being in theatre and your operation's cancelled as there's no beds for you to go to afterwards. So that would be an absolute nightmare, wouldn't it? You got to get yourself mentally, physically up. You go in, you do all your pre's, and then you're lying there, oh, sorry, mate, we're going to cancel this because we don't have a bed for you to go into. Terrible. And then a couple of other people saying, I'm sorry, but this Premier is only good for sports. We need a mental health hospital facility. We need more aged care homes. A lot of people calling out the amazing work that our doctors and nurses doing, just saying we need to pay them more. They're put through the absolute ringers. They're abused every day on the job, and we need to keep them doing what they're doing. And it's a disaster out there right now.
28 minutes past 8 o'clock. Keep those text messages coming. We're going to head across to the newsroom shortly.
Margie loves it when people comment on her garden.
I love your roses, Margie.
As a keen gardener for many years, it fills her heart with pride and joy.
Just stunning, Margie.
And at Anglicare SA, it warms our hearts to let Margie take all the credit. Anglicare SA's home and community services for seniors can be tailored to anything you need. Whether it's personal care, shopping, coordination and clinical services, or gardening. For more, visit anglicaresa.com.au.
Once it's gone in Dreamland's once-a-year warehouse sale.
That's right, our warehouses are full, so right now it all has to go. With savings of up to 60% off big brand Australian mattresses and ensembles like Sealy Posturepedic, Sleepmaker, Exclusive Sleep Haven, Restopedic and Utopia. Plus there's huge savings on bed frames, bedroom furniture, adjustable beds in Manchester. With savings of up to a massive 60% off, don't miss out on a great deal and a better night's sleep in Dreamland's once-a-year warehouse sale.
It'll soon be gone. Dreamland.
Now, you don't just do a good barbie, you're the tong master. You're not just flipping snags, you've earned the title a backyard hospitality director. So you deserve the very best outdoor kitchen from Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens.
Choose from the best appliances, add a bar fridge, a pizza oven, or stun your guests with one of their custom-made concrete benches. They do indoor concrete benches too. These handmade bench tops can really upgrade any kitchen space. Custom-made for you. Every piece is unique, especially for you.
Which is fantastic. So all you need to do is call for a consultation and quote today, or visit the Seaford Meadows showroom on Farrow Circuit. The best backyard hospitality directors choose Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Go to adelaideoutdoorkitchens.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 14 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Hands you can trust and state-of-the-art facilities. Physio Extra, tailoring care for you. PhysioExtra.com.
There are renewed concerns about wait times in our emergency departments. The Doctors' Union says some patients are spending days in EDs waiting for a bed in a ward after receiving treatment. The longest stay clocking in at 72 hours when a SNAP inspection was carried out late last week. Bernadette Mulholland from Sasmoa has told 5AA Breakfast blaming it on an influx of patients during winter is a cop-out.
When we're told that there's winter planning and things have been done, there's an expectation that we won't see the repeat annually of years and years of problems, and here we are again.
A BMW stolen from a Norwood driveway has been dumped in the northern suburbs. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says the keys were taken during a break-in on Kensington Road in the early hours of this morning.
Now, the stolen car's onboard tracking showed it loitering outside several addresses in Royston Park before it led police across the northern suburbs to Adair Court, Elizabeth East, where the car was located abandoned. Police searched the area with the assistance of Polaire and police dog Enzo, but the suspect was not located.
The hunt for the driver continues. Meantime, police found another set of keys to a Subaru inside the BMW and are asking any residents in the Norwood Royston Park area to check to see if their keys have been stolen. A stolen SUV has been torched at Blakeview. It was reported on fire on Medlow Road shortly before 3 a.m. The Kia had been taken from a local address yesterday afternoon. It's the one-year anniversary of the attempt on now US President Donald Trump's life. Jonathan Kersley has more.
They were the shots that echoed around the world and changed the presidential campaign when then-candidate Donald Trump was shot at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. He survived. 20-year-old gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks was shot dead by a sniper. Now a new report says there was a cascade of failures by the Secret Service that could have led to an assassination. On the one-year anniversary, President Trump has been joined by Rupert Murdoch at the FIFA Club World Cup.
Emergency crews in Texas have been forced to suspend the search for victims as they brace for more flash flooding. Slow-moving storms increasing the risk vulnerable waterways will surge again. More than 170 people are still missing after the devastating floods hit central Texas on July 4th. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Agostino Mitsubishi's is overstocked with demos that must be cleared. Upgrade your vehicle today. Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Corey Norris.
Good morning, Mel. World number one Yannick Sinner has defeated Carlos Alcaraz in the Wimbledon final, his fourth Grand Slam title. Alcaraz says while he's disappointed, he's keeping himself in a positive mindset.
I want to think like, okay, I just played the final in a Grand Slam and trying to forget that I lost it. I'm just happy. I'm smiling because in my head it was about playing the final and be grateful for that.
Port Adelaide is hoping captain Connor Rosie has avoided a potentially season-ending hand injury suffered in yesterday's win over West Coast. He'll have scans this morning. North Melbourne ruckman Tristan Sherry is facing suspension for a sickening blow that knocked out Demons forward Tom Sparrow. Coach Simon Goodwin says Sparrow will continue to be monitored by medical staff.
You know, they'll make the best decision there. As I said, he's up talking. He can remember the majority of the game and, that's a good sign. But clearly he's going to be monitored quite closely by a medical team.
Australia has ripped through the West Indies on day 2 of the third test in Jamaica. Scott Boland took 3 wickets as the hosts fell for 143 in their first innings. Chelsea has stunned Champions League winners PSG to claim the FIFA Club World Cup 3-0. And that's the 5AA sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there at Dry Creek. Roads closed due to a truck rollover on the north-south motorway at the Wingfield interchange. We're slow for works at Glen Osmond, Port Rice Road near Giles Road. Getting busy South Road, Edwardstown, and look out for works at O'Halloran Hill, the Southern Expressway near Majors Road for the new on and off ramps. Cameras, Trimmer Parade, Seaton, got one right now, Ocean Boulevard at Seacliff Park. Got everyday rewards dollars saved. This week, use them on a Woolworths shop and collect up to 5,000 bonus points. Hurry, the Big Points Blitz ends July 15. Min redemption and T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Stay cosy. Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au now and register your interest today.
14 for your Monday with showers. A shower or two tomorrow, 15. Wednesday, a shower or two, 15. And 16 on Thursday. Right now, it's 9 degrees on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Get out there and give it heaps in the new Mazda BT50. Take on the toughest terrain and the biggest weekends in the top-of-the-range Mazda BT50 SP, now from $67,990 drive away. Or get the job done with the worksite-ready BT50 XT 4x4 dual-cab pickup, now from $54,990 drive away. Visit your local Mazda dealer and drive away today. T's and C's apply. See Mazda.com.au for details.
Breaking up is never easy. And when a relationship does end, there's so much to work through. What happens with the house, the car, the kids, your future? It's hard to know where to start. And that's where Anderson Solicitors will help. In just 90 minutes, Andersons will create your personalised family roadmap, explaining your options and outlining a clear plan for the next steps. And all for a set fee. Anderson Solicitors. Help when you need it.
You wake up and you're feeling a bit off. Your nose is runny, but maybe it's just a cold. That scratchy throat, though, that could be something worse.
Test for COVID, Flu A, Flu B and RSV in just minutes with Cell Life, the premium 4-in-1 rapid antigen test. Fast, reliable results. Make the smart choice for your health and your family. Insist on the brand the healthcare professionals prefer. Cell Life at leading chemists and Amazon. CELLIFE.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Nothing like the voice, Johnny Farnham, to bring us back out of the 8:30 news. Love him. It's been a big show this morning. Plenty happening. We've been talking ramping this morning. We've also been talking lots of other stories. The weather's looking a bit murky out there. It's going to be
grey and cold.
Isn't it?
Looking out. Day out there, that's a day to sit on the couch and watch movies.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
The slow cooker will be on again today, Tommy.
Well, if you can do that, if you can stay at home today, good luck to you because, it's looking pretty dreary outside at the moment. We are in the midst of winter. The other story too, Jay, we've been talking about this morning, 22 minutes to 9 o'clock, is the amnesty on knives. And I think some 500 knives, swords, ninja stars, etc. have been taken back by authorities. And we've been getting a fair bit of feedback this morning.
Yeah,
from our
absolutely.
listeners.
Frank is a collector of World War I knives, so he's called in. Frank, tell us your story.
Good morning, guys. I'm glad I've got the time to tell you this, and I hopefully will be helpful to anyone out there who's unsure about swords. Now, I'm a private collector of 4 World War I German swords. One of my antique collector colleagues, who was a dealer, collector and seller, passed on this information to me. Now, I'll just read it out. Schedule 2 of the Summary Offences Act 1953 provides a full list of exemptions for a person who uses, possesses, manufactures, sells, distributes, supplies, or otherwise deals in prohibited weapons. Firstly, exemptions cover the following categories: police officers, delivery to police, emergencies, business purposes, religious purposes, entertainment, sport and recreation, ceremonies, museums, art collectors, executors, heirlooms, collectors, which is what I fall under, prescribed service organisations, e.g. RSL, possession of collector on behalf of prescribed services organisations or another collector, manufacturers, possession by manufacturer on behalf of prescribed services organisation or another collector, prescribed weapons, security agents, prescribed weapons, members of Scottish associations, prescribed weapons, lodges of Freemasons, prescribed weapons, food preparation, prescribed weapons.
How long's this list, Frank?
Officers, hang on, I'm nearly finished.
Okay.
Do you need to apply for an exemption? So you do not need to apply for an exemption if you fall within one of the specified legislated exemptions. Conditions and requirements may apply for each weapon. This information can be obtained probably from your local police station or online.
Okay, that is a very long list of exemptions, and I'm sorry, but if you're a baddie out there on the streets, you're probably going to look at that exemption and go, oh, maybe I could fit into one. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. And look, there needs to be, I guess, a pathway for people that are legitimately using it for the right reasons. But I think
Frank's a collector. Fine. Okay, that's ridiculous. That seems very, very long. Okay, we also spoke about e-scooters.
Yes.
So they can be ridden on the roads now.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I love the thought of them. We got beautiful parklands within a certain vicinity to zip in and out, but the thought of them being out on the open roads and it scares me, to be frank. We've got Naomi in Lockleys on the line. Well, Naomi, you've got an opinion about e-scooters.
Yeah, I was actually taken out by an e-scooter about 18 months ago, working in the city. I was in Weymouth Street at Chibos. Coming back, this gentleman was probably about 15 k's an hour on his e-scooter on the footpath, and took me out. So I landed on my hands and knees, lost my coffee, and he didn't even stop. But I did notice that he's on his phone. They're not even looking at where they're going. They're busy, got their head down and not paying attention. So I got back to the office and had to see first aid before I could actually go back to work.
Did he realise that he'd even knocked you over?
No, he sort of had a quick turn, like he bumped something, but kept going. So the biggest thing was they're not paying attention because they're on their phones while they're on the e-scooters.
Yeah, 15 k's an hour, that's not light. That would have hurt like hell, Naomi.
Oh, it did, yeah. And like being sort of Weymouth Street, morning tea with everyone in the city.
It's busy.
It's pretty busy.
Yeah, I go past there all the time. It gets really busy. So
they shouldn't be on the footpaths.
Well, this is the thing.
bike lanes.
And the problem is the new laws allowing these privately owned e-scooters, e-skateboards, etc. Any injured party, you're probably facing an uphill battle to get in any compensation, even if you are badly hurt. And we can see it happen, as it did to Naomi, quite often. So can be a bit of a hazard out there, that's for sure. The other thing we're talking about this morning is live concerts. What's the best one you've ever been to? It was 40 years yesterday since we had Live Aid. So let's have a chat to Colin from O'Halloran Hill. Hello, Colin.
Yeah, g'day guys. I've seen a few that you mentioned earlier there, Tom. I did U2. U2, Michael Jackson, had a gold pass for the Michael Jackson concert here, and after AC joint shoulder surgery, I was told to go home and rest, and I got in my manual car and drove down to Theberton Theatre and spent a night on the floor there to queue up and get front row at Madonna also. So I was literally front row at the Madonna concert at Footy Park here in, it was about 92, 93, I think.
Yeah, great. Was that the best one?
So, toss of the coin, Michael Jackson, Madonna. I'm a big Madonna fan, but hey, Michael Jackson was just excellent. And also seen Michael Hutchins with INXS at Memorial Drive way back in the day.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds incredible. Good on you. You've been to quite a few concerts, Colin, and let's hope that you can get to a lot more, because there is nothing quite like it. Love going to them. So we'll keep on moving. Let's go to Ray from Semaphore Park. Hello, Ray. What was your favourite concert?
Madonna by a mile.
What made her so good, Ray?
Oh, she was just brilliant. The way she came out and the way she sang and everything there back on Adelaide Oval. She was really nice, very lovely.
Yeah, she's got an amazing sound, doesn't she? And her music has been iconic.
Can dance, can perform. Her backup dancers are amazing. Like, she is an incredible performer.
High energy.
We have been talking about ramping. The figures are, and we spoke to Bernadette Mulholland, who said that it is now the worst that she has ever seen in her long career, and she has been in the industry for a very long time. So to hear those words come out of her mouth, it is dire out there. We've got lots of personal messages coming through. I want to read this one out to you. The ambulance system is broken. A few months ago, we needed an ambulance for an emergency, but was told there was not one available. I ended up transporting my son to Lyell McEwen Hospital. The ED was full at 10:30 p.m. Interestingly, when we arrived, there was 3 ambulances parked in the car park. We registered at the front desk, then waited to be attended to my son, who was in serious pain, writhing on the floor, but was never given any priority. Oh, and a message has come through and just bumped that one. Sorry. It wasn't given. A doctor walked past and said he would get a blanket. He never returned. All he was given was paracetamol to alleviate the pain and remained in the ED for the entire night. The ambulance service failed. The Lyell McEwen failed. The care factor of these services was 0. That was from Tom. I had an experience last year where my son, I had to go and pick him up from camp. He was very, very, very ill. We took him to the Women's and Children's, who they were amazing. And once we got in, they were great. And I'll never forget this woman. And if I passed her in the street, I would remember it. So my son passed out. He was so sick, he could barely breathe, and he ended up passing out in the lineup. I had a woman in front of me whose son had just tested positive for COVID. That was it, but thought it'd be a good idea to present to the Women's and Children's. Now, if you're a parent and you see a kid in that much trouble, are you not just saying, oh my gosh, come in front of me? No. She just went to the line, sat there for, I don't even know for how long. I could have slapped her. I was that angry. And yeah, poor old soul's we ended up just lying him on the ground, and a nurse eventually came. The care was great once we got in there, but people are presenting for the most moronic issues.
Yeah, it is frustrating. I remember when we've had Harry and Charlie on 2 separate occasions. We've got the heater with the glass sort of panel on it, and being young kids, they've touched it accidentally. So we've taken them, and the staff are brilliant, and they always prioritise the kids, particularly for burns, and they took them through. But we had the same instance. You know, we had the initial consultation, but then you have to wait again for further consultation once they work out that it's not, life-threatening. And a lot of people come in, particularly late at night, users, drug addicts, etc., and the whole system just gets clogged and exhausted, and it is frustrating when you see people coming in or misusing the system like you're talking about, Jade. The staff are brilliant. They're just overworked, unfortunately, and often under-resourced. It's really, really challenging for them, particularly when people go in there that don't need to be there. It is frustrating.
Absolutely. We are getting
a stack of texts.
So many text messages of people sharing their personal stories. It's a huge problem.
Keep them coming. We'll try and get through them as best we can. We'll sort through them. 8223 0000 is the number as well if you want to call in. Let's check out the traffic though right now. Don't get stuck on the side of the road. Get RAA road service today.
Morning there at Cravers West. A breakdown on the freeway near the tunnel, seeing delays outbound. Dry Creek roads closed due to a truck rollover on the north-south motorway at the Wingfield interchange. Getting busy at the moment. Main North Road at Enfield, quite slow. Brighton Road, Glenelg East near Jetty Road. And we've got a camera spotted this morning, Jetty Road, Larks Bay. Flee the freeze and find the heat in Bali. AirAsia can fly direct to Bali from just $219. What are you waiting for? Book now at airasia.com. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
On the Cow IQ test, Fluorio milk cows come in at around 100, pretty much the national average. But when it comes to the milk our SA cows produce, it's unmatched. You don't need to be a cow Einstein to produce some of the best milk in the country. You do need the perfect grazing conditions, and the milk needs to be bottled on site and on shop shelves within hours. It doesn't get any fresher, any better, or any more SA than Fluorio Milk Company.
Our place is your place at the Albion Hotel. Your place to raise a glass to a big sporting win, a milestone birthday, or just making it through the week. Cheers. Your place to bring the entire family, including the kids and grandkids, for an amazing meal together. Your place to sit back and just soak it all in. The Albion Hotel. Your local, your people, your place.
With Big Difference Home Improvements, you can make a big difference to your next family gathering, your Christmas feast, your next footy barbecue, and get together with your mates, or your next quiet time. Just you, a nice book, your favourite bev, and a place to relax outside and out of the weather.
Big Difference Home Improvements make all the difference when it comes to outdoor blinds, roller shutters, verandas, pergolas, car ports, or a stunning timber deck.
Everything they do makes a big difference, not just to your lifestyle, but to the value of your home, whether you're in renovation mode or adding to your new home.
Ask the Big D team for a free measuring quote today on outdoor blinds, a carport, pergola, veranda, or stunning timber deck.
So don't just make a difference, make a big difference. Visit bigdifference.com.au.
There was this huge spider.
Really silly place for a letterbox.
Seriously, there were cows all over the road.
At FIVEAA Panel Services, we've heard it all. But the one thing we hear often is, when will my car be ready? In most cases, we can start work straight away, thanks to our state-of-the-art workshop and highly skilled team. Ask your insurance company for FIVEAA Panel Services. With over 45 years' experience, we'll get you back on the road sooner. FIVEAApanel.com.au.
If you're thinking about adding a battery or going solar and battery together, there's never been a better time. The federal government's cheaper home battery rebate could save you up to $18,500 on a quality system. NRG Solar are ready to help you maximise your savings, and yes, systems installed from now qualify. Beat the rush. Visit nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160. That's 1300 858 160 to book your quote today.
It's game on at Hyundai with offers on new and demonstrator models. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
5AA Breakfast with Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
And it's been another busy show this morning, 9 minutes to 9 o'clock, and we've got Graham Goodings on with mornings after this, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Jade, we've got a statement on a truck rollover that has occurred at Dry Creek.
Absolutely. A truck driver that was carrying a load of flour tipped over last night. Emergency services still on the scene on the ramp. If you look on our live stream, it is a mess. And if you combine water and the flour, we heard from SAPOL this morning, they said it's just like glue strewn all across the road, and there's been some damage to the rails around the roads as well. So they'll be on the scene for quite some time. We've got a statement here from the Department of Infrastructure and Transport. They have said to us, the north-south motorway southbound entry ramp at Dry Creek is currently closed after a truck rollover yesterday evening. Emergency crews have remained on scene overnight while 2 tow trucks removed the heavy vehicle. Cleanup crews are currently inspecting the road and infrastructure for any damage before the ramp can be reopened to traffic. So that has happened last night. Well, yesterday afternoon, still closed today. Apparently it is absolutely chaotic around on the roads there. So if you're hearing this now, please take alternative routes into the city.
Good stuff. Thanks for that update there, Jade. I was lucky enough to be at the rugby on Saturday night, and then I called the football on Sunday between Port Adelaide and West Coast. That game yesterday. Adelaide Oval hosted both of those matches. Incredible turnaround. Having called the football last night, you wouldn't have even known there was a game with the rugby. It was a great effort by everyone involved at Adelaide Oval to turn that around. Pete Foreman is the Adelaide Oval turf manager and joins us on the line this morning. Pete, good morning to you. Wow, what an effort. It must have been around the clock to make sure the surface was up to scratch yesterday for the Port game, but you didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, good morning, Tom and Jade. Yeah, it was a big weekend, but yeah, the team did some great work and yeah, we got it done.
So what went into it? How many hours did you have to work after the rugby? Because I watched until the end of that match, and look, the Lions were brilliant. They destroyed the Aussies and New Zealand side 48-0. But how late did you have to work into the night, and how early the next morning?
Yeah, so we had a few shifts going. So we had a day shift starting on the Saturday morning to set up for the rugby. So we line marked and cut and got the field ready for the rugby. Then we had a night shift start pretty much at the start of the rugby. So they worked the game and then they worked through till about 3 a.m, taking down the rugby goals, putting back up the AFL goals and washing out all the lines. So they got finished about 3, and then we came back in at about 7 on Sunday morning, and we cut again, line mark for AFL. The AFL logos got redone. And we set up for the game for Port and West Coast.
Was there any damage at all?
Yeah, there was a little bit. There was some obviously some scrum areas that turned up a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. The boys divoted on the game, and we re-divoted on Sunday morning. So those areas held up really well, and the surface presented well for both games, really.
You know that the SCG people might ring you and want to hire you.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I feel for the other guys around the country. There's, they have a lot of events and weather, and it's really quite a tough job. So, always think about those guys that are having a few issues. Yeah.
Pete, do you collaborate actually, in all seriousness, with other venue holders and other turf managers around the country to share ideas and talk about some of the challenges?
Yeah, we do. Damo, obviously our boss, Damien Hoff, he has a lot of contact with the other guys, but I actually met up with the other guys at the turf conference just recently in Sydney. So it's good to have a bit of a think tank, and you can talk about different issues around the game and around changeovers and things like that. So it is really helpful to get some other guys' opinions. Yeah,
and we've got Crows and Gold Coast playing this Sunday, 4:10 p.m, which is a huge game. Both sides pushing for top four. Is that the next match? You haven't got any other engagements before then?
Yeah, we've actually got Illuminate, which is Illuminate at Adelaide Oval, which is part of the Illuminate Festival. So there's not too much involved for us for that. But yeah, we've got captain's runs on the Saturday, and then Crows Gold Coast on Sunday, which will be a good one too.
In all seriousness, I know the MCG, they say that's the hallowed turf, but we would be, I don't know, could we almost claim that we've got the best turf in the country?
Yeah, it'd be nice. We've got an amazing grounds team here, obviously led by Damien and me under Damien. But yeah, we've got an amazing team that works so hard and they're so passionate. They really just go to the last degree to get everything right for games and changeovers and things. So yeah, it'd be nice to do that one day. Yeah, for sure.
Well, you do a brilliant job. I mean, having been at both the games on the weekend, it was flawless. The players couldn't have complained. It looked good enough to eat off the turf. So, Pete, you do a great job. Keep it going, and look forward to watching the match this week between the Crows and the Suns.
Great. Yeah, thanks very much, guys. It was great talking to you.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, you did turning that around in 24 hours.
Really
amazing
good
job. Yeah, it was. You wouldn't have actually even known.
No, you didn't. And I was looking. I remember being there going, I wonder if I can see the markings from the rugby the night before, and you couldn't. So, they worked around the clock to make sure it was up to scratch and was all okay. And fingers crossed it was. Jade, that is us done for another morning here on 5AA Breakfast.
Brilliant. You have a lovely day. Rug up, everybody. It's a chilly one. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. You got much on for the rest of today, or pretty quiet?
I don't think about it after I walk out. I'm not sure.
Wait and see. Yeah, exactly.
What's going on?
Worry about that when you get to it. I'm going to go to the gym and then I'll head into 9 afterwards. But we'll be back tomorrow morning on 5AA Breakfast. So make sure you tune in with us then. We'll have more We in the Newsroom shortly with Mel Usher, Corey Norris with all the latest sport. And, of course, Rowie and Timmy G with all the fallout from the weekend's matches today from 4 o'clock. Graham Goodings, though, after 9 o'clock. We'll catch you tomorrow morning, folks.
Coming up next on